I personally thought reactive images would have detected you in this chat, so now I have to do things a bit manually for a second. Well, it's like you just. I didn't remember everything from that conversation. I just remember you talked about balance, Greek, and God, and I was like, that's how my brain remembered it. So I was like, okay, there we go. One thing you're gonna find out is that I forget to look at people's Twitter all the time when I should. It is the one thing I am so bad at. Oh, that's actually correct. Interesting. It knew exactly what image yours was, despite the fact it didn't come up at first. So let's just hope it does it now. Yay! Now you can talk. Well, it's like you're not looking at me, so how have I managed to use what?
maybe your stream is very quiet. Oh, maybe it's just very quiet. That's fine.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next installment of Helltalk. Today I am here with Bloody Karma. Please introduce yourself, my dude.
Uh, I mean, I'm just a dude in it. I'm just a Greek god, casual things and that.
Yeah, I'm a dude at it.
Debuting. Right, go on.
Oh, I came from Greece, but I have like for some reason I have a Cockney accent.
I do not have a Cockney accent.
No, I'm
That's
talking. I can't intimidate your accent, so I went Cockney.
My accent is not Cockney.
I know it's not Cockney. I can hear the fact that it's not Cockney.
So my accent is actually considered posh. It's a Wintonian accent.
I should get rid of nutting to death above us.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
No, that's just how I do. That's actually a channel meme.
Yeah. Where did it come from?
Danganronpa. Ironically enough, we were talking about like the ending of the game, and we figured out that one of the characters was actually nutting to death, and it was both hilarious and concerning.
Yeah,
It's like I can't get into it too much because it's massive spoilers. Because it is like unironically the ending, both a crucial part of the beginning.
Yeah. No, I respect that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never got into that personally. I honestly, as much as I like anime, I don't watch or play that much anime these days.
Same here. I don't really like anime-based games. I don't really like visual novels either.
In fairness, I think I just haven't been interested in kind of like the genres that are appearing to do well at the moment in anime either. Like, I'm not really a sportsy person. There was a load of sports stuff that was like popping off recently, right? So yeah, maybe it's just like maybe when the right genre comes around, I'll be fully invested again.
Yeah.
Entirely possible.
As it stands right now, my little sister's trying to get me into the anime because I beat the game.
All right.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I want to.
So what's your favorite anime at the moment then?
That is a good question. I actually haven't watched anime in like over a year at this point.
I'm in a similar place, but Assassination Classroom has always and will probably always be my favorite.
I heard that's a really popular one.
Yeah, it's not too long because it only ran 2 seasons, so it's pretty manageable. Because like I look at things like Naruto and One Piece and Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, I would love to watch that, but I don't have enough patience or time in my life to watch a billion episodes. You know?
Yeah, actually, that's actually a good subject. I've actually been told by my friends I need not give anime a chance. I don't give enough animes a chance. And they're talking about Bleach, and it says, "Listen, you gotta wait until like season 5 or some shit." And I was like, "How?" I may like at the time I was actually being a weeb, so I was like, I may be a weeb, but I respect my time more than that.
It's just it's one of those things, right? It's like if you grew up with it from the start, that's amazing, and if it's your favorite thing, that's great, right? That's cool for you. And I respect that. But as somebody that hasn't watched it, coming in and seeing, oh, there's 37 seasons, 5 movies, and like literally hours and hours of content, like it puts me off, you know. And it could be the best anime in the world. It really could be. And it's not. I don't want to invest that much time into the best anime in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, You know, it's actually the most egregious one I have heard so far. Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah, but like I feel like you don't have to.
Okay. Okay. So the fandom I've always heard, like just reading shit, they say you got to watch the entire watch a certain anime at like they're talking about like an order. Watch this anime, watch this anime, then play this game. Watch an anime, play a game, watch an anime, play a game, and these games are like 30 to 60 hours long. And it was like it's daunting, and by the end of it, you're left trying to interpret Fire Emblem anyways.
But then again, kind of like more popular media's doing that as well. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a massive Marvel fanboy. I adore Marvel. I have watched nearly everything released in the like MCU. But like, if you want to watch the whole MCU in order, it's like such a mix mash of here's this film that was released 10 years ago, then you got to watch this film from last year, and then this TV show from like 6 years back. Like, it's all because it's all just
Okay, I feel like with the Marvel movies, I never felt the need that I never felt like I needed to watch the external content.
I think you do if you want to like fully appreciate something like Endgame and Infinity War.
The thing is that I love Endgame, but hated Infinity War just from like I never watched it because like personally I felt like Endgame had a wait. You remember this wrong?
You might be remembering this wrong.
Which one's the one about time travel?
Infinity War came first.
Okay, it was Infinity War I liked. That was it.
And Endgame came after the time travel.
Yeah, so I liked Infinity War because it actually felt like a really nice, melancholy ending to the series for me. And I haven't watched a single Marvel movie since.
Really?
Yeah.
Genuinely, I watched the new Spider-Man film. Probably my favorite Marvel movie that I've seen so far. Like, it was so good. And I don't know if that's just partly nostalgia coming through.
Oh, I heard this take somewhere, and I want to know your opinion on it.
Okay.
Tom Holland Spider-Man versus the Raimi trilogy Spider-Man. Who'd win? Just pure muscle.
Pure muscle?
We're not talking about Skittles here. We're talking about muscle.
Alright. Okay. What, like, thing is, there's different iterations, right?
We're just talking about movies. Just the first three
movies?
Raimi movies. Yeah.
First three Raimi movies versus the first three Spider-Man movies.
Yes. Well, versus the first Tom Holland movies. Yes.
Yeah. I'm a fan of both.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about who would win, not what we're a fan of.
Both. But if I had to pick one over the other, there's certain aspects of Sam Raimi's that hasn't aged well. Which obviously is one of the advantages of the Tom Holland series being newer. And I think that actually, the reason the Tom Holland ones are better than the Sam Raimi ones is because there is a much more discernible and important moral story in the Tom
Holland. Wasn't what I was talking about. I was talking about just the Spider-Mans, like they're punching each other. They're having a wrestling match.
Again, that goes back to like what I said originally, like what iteration, because there's different, like is this
Jody, don't fart.
Is this like is this Venom suited up?
No. We're talking about like Green Goblin Spider-Man.
Okay,
he just I want you to think about it this way.
I think Tom Holland would still have it because he's just
well, I want you to remember this one thing. Did Tom Holland ever have to stop a moving train full of passengers and his girlfriend?
He did have to stop a boat. He did have to keep a boat from falling apart, didn't he?
Do you know how many pounds of force a train actually has, even on its normal cruising speed?
But like, holding two sides of a fucking cruiser together is also pretty pound heavy,
Okay, so if I remember correctly, he was. Wait. Daxus, no way Tom Holland wins. He was falling at. He was failing at holding the boat. What's your opinion? I haven't watched those movies. Karma?
I think Tom Holland would have it. I think he's more intuitive. I think
Dex's claims that he failed at holding the boat together.
I mean, yes and no. He did and he didn't. Did he hold
Well,
it together perfectly? Hell no. No, he didn't.
well, okay,
But
well,
like, considering how much time, like this is the thing, right? Sam Raimi films, train was being slowed down. The pound and pressure
by
is
only
increasing.
Spider-Man, it had no
Yeah.
brakes.
But he stopped the train, right? His job's done. Tom Holland, there is no job done moment, right? Like he's just got to fucking sit there and hold two halves
Do
of
you
a
know
boat.
what happened
Right?
afterward? After the train, after he stopped the train, he passed out for like a second, and then he got back up, and then he had to go stop Green. It was Doc Octopus or Green Goblin, I forgot which. He immediately had to go somewhere else. He didn't get taken home afterwards. So all those injuries he sustained from that.
That's not. Yeah, but then like Tom Holland, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
knows? Like, if he had to go off to deal with something else after that, right? He was still standing. He could have gone. Like you can't compare it because like it's a lot of
Well,
what ifs, right? There's a lot of
yeah, there's a lot of what
yeah.
ifs, and this is the
There's
fun
not a lot
part
of
of it.
that.
But it's like, what? So, a force of a train going really fast is not comparable to a boat stationarily slowly falling apart because the amount of force actually. Uh, I wonder how I can act. So, that is the
I know what you're
weight
saying.
of 10
I
of
know what
those
you're saying.
cruisers,
I just
actually.
massively disagree with you. That's all.
Yeah, I agree that we vastly disagree. It's just like I just say like mathematically speaking, just pure mathematics in pounds. Uh,
Yeah,
the
sure, more
train,
pounds.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
but like
the initial force, uh,
yeah, but
slowly
like
decreased by ship.
but you can't compare it again because like if you swap them round, who like Tom Holland might have also been able to stop the train. Like you don't know. There's just no way of knowing until he's put into the same situation.
Yeah, I just feel like even if they were, they wouldn't actually vote. Like this is actually one of my biggest problems with Marvel is like, uh, is they don't care about the power scaling. Cause of course it's like it's the rule of cool, obviously, and the rule of cool is always cool.
But
But it's
at
not
the end of
always
the day,
fun when
right?
you try to go with like who would win in a fight, Tom Holland or Raimi's Spider Man. And I was like, well,
It's
right
worth
now Raimi's
noting.
Spider Man would win, but who knows? Maybe they'll say, wait a minute, Tom Holland
It's,
actually could do that, and he did it 3 times over without a
it's
break.
worth noting. It's worth noting that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was not fully Marvel influenced. It was Sony influenced.
Yeah,
And on top of that, like at the end of the day, Marvel is a company, and the company's job is to make money. And the best way for them to do that is to make the films as entertaining as possible. If that means having power creeping and power scaling not matching reality or not matching like what exists in the comics, for example, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as they're making successful movies. You know, like they're doing their job.
I've always been kind of the opinion Marvel should just say screw the comics and just do what they want. Don't even try to
I mean,
have
they
seen.
have done that.
Yeah, I know they
They've done
have.
that with
And
couple
it's
of
like
things, but
I have seen Marvel fanboys go like, "Oh, I go, they didn't do what the comics said. They didn't do it."
yeah, it's a careful balance, right? You need to stay true to the character, and at the end of the day, the character is that character from the comic. But at the same time, you need to make it fresh, you need to make it new, and you need to acknowledge the fact that, hey, you know, we can get Tom Holland to play Spider Man. Tom Holland's not going to look exactly like Spider Man from the comics, you know? It's the same with, like, you. And then that becomes the character, right? Like, think about it now. How is Marvel going to do Wolverine? Because originally you had Wolverine from the comics,
Oh yeah, that
then
was
you
like
had
a
Hugh
Fox
Jackman.
property for a long time,
Yeah,
and now they
and
own Fox.
then you have Hugh Jackman, who became the Wolverine. Like Wolverine is Hugh Jackman. Now, if they want to re-put the character on TV or re-put the character in a film, they can't cast Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's done with the role, like, and that's a massive pair of shoes to step into if you're an actor and you're being asked,
Oh
"Hey,
my god! You know what's one thing I hope they don't
what
do
role
like
do you
every
go for?"
movie does for some reason?
What?
We need a guy that's buff and looks hot. We're getting
I don't
Dwayne
think
the
they
Rock
will.
Johnson.
I don't think they will because Wolverine is like typically not designed to be hot.
Actually, no.
Like,
Okay, so he's not me and your idea of hot, but I can tell you one thing. I have met so many girls that are like, God damn, Hugh Jackman. He
oh
just
yeah,
gets
no,
me going, man. I
I
love Silver
agree.
Foxes.
I agree. Hugh Jackman's pretty fit, but Wolverine as a character was not invented and designed around the idea of being attractive.
Oh,
And
yeah, obviously. Look at that
Hugh
costume.
Jackman in a lot of the movies, like he is made less attractive than he would be at a movie premiere, for example, right?
Hmm.
It's the nature. There's a lot of rumors that fuck, I forgot his name immediately. Who's the guy that played Harry Potter? Daniel Radcliffe. There's a lot of rumors that Daniel Radcliffe might be like a top option to play Wolverine if he's reintroduced into the MCU.
You just gave me pure nightmare fuel of a twink becoming Wolverine.
I would not call Daniel Radcliffe a twink.
I only thing I know about Harry Potter is that like I only seen a twink.
That is very broad generalization.
It is a broad generalization, but it's like Daniel could pull it off. Yeah, Daxa seems to agree with you, so I won't contest it.
Yeah. I think Daniel Radcliffe could, because the thing is, Daniel Radcliffe's got this very rugged kind of like look in recent years.
Mhm.
So yeah, he definitely could. I- Plus, he's incredibly talented as an actor, severely underrated. Despite like his success in Harry Potter, like a lot of people just like don't appreciate his other work.
Hmm.
You know?
Actually, that actually gives me an idea. In I think a lot of people probably think this in the back of their heads, but don't realize it. The VTubing sphere is a lot like the idealized fantasy land of becoming an actor. When you think about it, like very few of us make it, but it's
Hmm.
mostly based on luck. But it always has to do with like the personality
It's
along
very
with design
different
and
in a
all
lot
that.
of ways, though, right?
It is
Because
it
like,
is different in a lot of ways, but when you boil it down, it's good design. The actor looks good. Good
yeah,
personality. The actor is great on camera, and
yeah,
they're typically always talented and hardworking. A trait that
yeah.
most actors seem to have.
There's a picture of a fan favorite Photoshop edit of Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Sorry, I just had a drink of water.
Yeah. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
I
I
think he
have
could
thought
do it.
about this, and this actually has gotten me a little bit sad when I scroll on Twitter. Sometimes it's like in my timeline at random, Twitter would recommend me, uh, "Hey guys, I will be officially graduating from all VTuber related
Yeah,
activities."
yeah. It's always a little twang of pain. It's also it's really sad when you realize that somebody that used to be on your timeline every single day suddenly isn't. Like you go, huh? I haven't seen this person on my timeline in like 2 weeks, and they're just gone. You know,
Yeah.
just gone. Like last thing they had. I'll see you guys. We'll continue streaming Valorant tomorrow. Hope you guys tune in. Bam, no Valorant stream. No nothing. Just radio silence. It's sad.
I would
But
actually be kind of hurt by that because like a lot of people I regularly respond to in on Twitter and same people I regularly watch on Twitch, and I would say that we're pretty friendly with each other in DMs. So it would be something that would kind of bother me on a personal level.
Mm.
Because it's not just like a parasocial relationship. It's like a actual, hey, we're not good friends, but we're a little bit past acquaintances.
Right.
You alright, Lucy?
Hey Lucy, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey Lucy. Man, bring back old music. Not all of it. Some of it's shit, but bring back some old music.
Oh my god, I remember when every single person around me was like, all the music from the old days, 100% fucking fire. And then I'll go like, so Sweet Home Alabama?
I mean, you're lucky though in the sense of I assume you didn't get musically bullied because of your name, right?
Zhao Luke?
Yeah, it's not exactly a name that pops up in songs a lot, is it?
No. Well,
I
that's
used
not
to
my
get...
actual name.
No, I know,
But,
I know, I
but
know.
my real name also doesn't show up in music.
Well, mine does. So I used to, red, red, gold, and green
Mm-hmm.
culture club. Chameleon. Yeah, that
God, I like
all the
that song.
fucking time, man. Every goddamn day. Oh, and the amount of times people think they're smart because they walk up and they go, "Huh, karma's a bitch." I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, because I haven't heard that one.
Bloody karma's a
uh,
bitch, ain't it?
but people don't call me bloody.
Well, mostly because it's like, it's just a stuff.
It's an adjective.
It's an adjective. You add it to something.
Yeah. Which
It's
is
like
what
if I
it is
said,
supposed to be anyway.
prolapsed anus Xiao, uh, you know, that will definitely turn some heads, but they won't refer to the prolapse.
I think that was a stretch, and
It
you
is a
may have been.
it is a stretch, and also on my brand, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that was a long leap to connect those two dots.
It is I will give you that. It's a long leap,
A long leap.
but if there's
I
anything I'm
respect
known
the
for
hustle.
is making long leaps that somehow connect.
I mean, I respect the hustle. I just wouldn't have gone for it personally. Who was who was the first VTuber that you watched and was like, holy shit, this is great. This is actually amazing. I need to learn more about this whole thing.
Well, the first VTuber I ever watched was actually Gargura.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was
Nothing
like,
wrong
well,
with
it
that.
was like it was I guess there was like such a hype on Twitter that YouTube somehow picked up on it, and everyone immediately obviously subscribed to Gargara's channel. So I was there for her second stream, not her debut
Yeah,
stream.
she went through a phase where she was just unstoppably growing, right? Like just the amount of growth she had was insane.
Oh yeah, it was
Um,
just fucking insane. She was the highest subscribed Hollow Life channel within 2
yeah.
months.
See, I really struggle at watching uh content that is in like another language. It's probably one of the reasons I don't watch a lot of anime. And don't get me wrong, I watch subbed anime. Fuck dubs sucks. But I don't
You're
watch a lot of
missing out on
anime.
some grade A funny content.
But I'm not a big fan of listening to music or watching content that's in a different language because like my brain has to process everything, right? Or I have to read and watch at the same time, and it's a nuisance. So I didn't get into. I knew about VTubing for a long time, and I didn't really get into it because all the ones I knew about were Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
and then I saw some stuff about V Shoujo, but I kind of shrugged it off because again I was already deterred. And then I was watching like a compilation, Twitch compilation, and it had apricot in it, fruit,
Mm-hmm.
and I
You
was
got
like,
it
oh
right.
my god, this person's fucking awesome. I just really fucking vibed. So I watched more of her stuff, and then I was like, damn, this is actually pretty cool. VTubing not bad.
And not gonna lie, that immediately made me think of another question. What's your opinion on VTuber drama?
I love the drama. I don't love being part of the drama.
Oh, come on, that's everybody. That's
Yeah, okay.
that's so
I
basic.
I enjoy the drama because people say the dumbest shit. Like yesterday, was it yesterday? Day before? Discord and Twitter. Discord went down and Twitter went nuts.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there was a tweet. I won't fucking say the name of the person because they don't deserve to be mentioned. There was a tweet made, right? And this person, unironically,
Oh my
went,
god. I think I know what you're
"Oh
talking
my god, Discord going down on International Women's Day."
I saw
right?
you post that on Chazilla's
And
post.
this fucking dude responds, "In your Twitter bio, your pronouns are he, so like, it's not really your day, is it?" It's like fucking. I love that shit. People just walking themselves into a hole because that I guarantee that person is the kind of person as well that is like, "Oh my god, you're being sexist to me because of my pronouns." You know, like over enforces the pronoun thing. Don't get me. I have different pronouns, right? But I'm chill. If people forget or people don't want to use it, it's like it's not really a big deal.
Mhm.
But I guarantee this person is one of those people that's super sensitive about it. And to get fucking roasted like that because you're trying to bitch about something like as if it's intent, like that's the thing, right? Like how can you possibly
That
think,
sounds like a tweet I
oh,
would make as a joke.
satirical? Yeah, it sounds like satire, but it wasn't.
Why is mom
That's my
calling me?
point, though, right? Like,
Do you mind giving me a second?
in, yeah. In what world? Do you think that
Yeah.
Discord would intentionally put their servers down on International Women's Day? Or like, how does your brain figure that out though? Kind of crazy, you know? Madness. Alright, I have the stream to myself, boys. Welcome. If you're just tuning in, my name is Karma, and I am one half of this show currently today. I am the special guest. It's takeover time. Fuck yeah, bro. Subscribe to my OnlyFans. Follow my Pornhub channel. Download my emo sad boy white rap tunes on SoundCloud.
I ran.
Nice. That
I
is
ran down my
indeed,
giant mansion.
that is indeed a country. Welcome
Where did I
back.
miss?
You missed nothing, don't worry, so it's all good. We were just chilling and chatting and vibing and teas, you know, like a big man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So one thing I wanted to ask your opinion about when I brought up the drama thing was, what do you think about the V Sojo drama?
Which one?
Nuts Taku versus V Sojo.
I mean, I think it's dumb.
Oh, it is. I
It
perfectly
is
agree.
dumb, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, it's hard to tell because it's hard to tell what is true and what isn't. Like, obviously, you're always going to try, as V Shoujo, or as a representative of V Shoujo, you're always going to try and save face. And, you know, if something did happen, then you're going to be like, no. You know, nothing happened. You know, like, you're going to defend the company. And at the same time, you've got to think, right? Nux isn't making these claims, and it's just like, well, why does he know? Like, what? He's provided, like, loose proof, but no, like, how much
From
does he
what
know,
I
really?
from what I understand, all the proof he was given was both his experience and one other person's experience, and all of the information V Sojo gave him,
But
which
that's
according
not
to him was
proof.
he had farm. I feel like the video is less about proving it and more about like this is a warning for VTubers. Yeah, if you applied to V Sojo, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
watch out for this. It was it was less of an exposed thing, and also his apology video showed evidence that he was given permission, and even V Sojo confirmed that they gave him
You know what the
permission, and
problem
they were
is?
like super iffy. Yes,
The problem is that it was massively blown out of proportion.
absolutely.
It wasn't like this shit happens all the time. It's like it's only because it's Vishojo, one of the biggest companies. It's Nux, who has like a pretty die-hard following and also a lot of haters. That he is not a popular man in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So when you've got that many volatile things, big company, devout viewership, lots of haters.
I
you're
also
just
would
gonna
like
have
to
it blow
bring
out.
up one simple reminder. It's like, uh, his friends, like not his personal friends, his Visojo friends, were attacking him with even less evidence than what he had. Because I remember reading some of their tweets. They're like, when your friends say multiple times over and over again not to post something, you just shouldn't fucking post it. And it's like,
I mean,
you're
again,
right,
I
but you're also
this is
making a
this
very
is me.
assertive claim here. And
Again, I don't. See, this is where I
yeah, this is where the puddle
this
gets
is
a
where I'm
bit
very
muddy.
careful. This is where I'm very careful because ultimately that is DM based, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying we told you multiple times not to post it. He's saying no, you didn't. That's DMs. That's completely unprovable because DMs can be edited, DMs can be deleted, DMs can be faked, and one of the party has to release the DMs. There's no way anyone else is going to find out and know. So
Yeah,
when
it
you
actually
take
have
that,
to. Only way you could
it becomes
possibly fully prove it is if like both parties show the
agreed.
exact same
Yeah,
DMs, like they both
that's
post full
possible.
DMs.
But like it's not going to happen, and it's
No,
it's it's a classic case of he said she said. At the end of the day, the
I
person making the initial accusation has to provide the proof, and if there's not enough proof, I'm not going to believe it. I'll follow the story potentially, depending on what it is, but I always take drama with a grain of salt because the amount of time something is insanely blown out. Do you remember? It was a long time ago. Drama alert. I don't like drama alert, but
I
do
don't
you
like Drama
remember?
Alert, but I love just reading Keemstar's unhinged tweets.
Yeah, but do you remember when they fucking like temporarily ruined that old guy's life?
Yeah, do you know what that
That
old guy
just
did
been
in return?
revealed.
Even after Keemstar handed him like, Keemstar didn't just apologize. He also
I know he didn't.
gave
But
him
like
like
the fact that it
gave him
happened,
like
right?
support raids, and his fan base gave him like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, but like the fact that it happened, right, is exactly what I'm talking about with why I take everything with a pinch of salt. Because like
Yeah,
everyone just jumped on the bandwagon and went, "Oh, Keemstar said it was true, and he has an influential platform, so it must be true." No, there was no fucking proof. He just went, "Oh, this guy looks like this guy. That means he is this guy." That's not how it works.
yeah. If I remember correctly,
That's why you've got to be careful.
he said at this point, uh, most of his stories are written from his interns and employees. Uh, he doesn't have at that point he was getting really big, so it's like, understandably, like even I'm having this kind of problem just as someone that's constantly working on a different project, double checking somebody's work to
Well,
take a once over on the evidence and then compare it. It's like it takes a lot of time, and if you're just a news channel like Keemstar, you don't particularly have too much time. And Keemstar does not
strong,
like to think too
strong
much.
opinion.
I'm not trying to justify his actions.
No, no,
I'm
no,
just giving a
no.
reason.
I was just gonna say, my strong opinion is if you don't have time to vet the information that you're receiving, then you don't have time to spread the information. If
That is a
you can't,
completely fair take.
if you can't vet the information, can't double check sources, can't get it, like every single news station, professional news station on the planet, right? They have got people that vet their content. Whether it's vetted well or not is a completely different story. But there is people that you employ to double check, to fact check things. Obviously, when you get things like political news channels, you've got a bias there. You can have two people vet the same thing and come to the same conclusion, even if it's not the right conclusion. It's where the things get kind of misty. But in a case like this, right, that's not a factor. The information should have been vetted, and regardless if an intern wrote the story or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
He read the story out, he spread the story. It's his responsibility as not only company like representative,
Mm-hmm.
not only as newsreader, not only as face of the company, but also just as an actual streamer or YouTuber. Like if you make videos, you have to actually think about what you're saying. You
Yeah.
can't make baseless accusations because people, regardless of if you're on a news channel or not, people will listen. People will write about it. It happens.
Yeah. As far as I heard so far, Keemstar has actually made major strides in trying to make sure
He has.
he doesn't do the old man thing again. Even
He
though
has.
Ethan Klein will try to say, "Oh, you still post fake news. You're trying to tell everyone I am a piece of shit." And I'm not gonna lie, my opinion of Ethan nowadays is not exactly high.
I think Ethan is a good example of exactly what we were talking about, of somebody that stopped being careful about what they were saying. And you listen to his podcast, right? You compare his old podcast to his new podcast. A lot of his old podcast was, here's this thing that I've heavily researched and fact checked. A lot of his current podcasting stuff is, oh, you know what I read the other day? Like, it's not as heavily fact checked, and a lot of it is him just voicing his opinion, which is perfectly fine. You can voice your
It is
opinion.
also a complete
Everyone's allowed that.
slog to go through when it's just him, Ela, and his intern.
I know, but exactly again, right? Like he's not a poor man. He could employ somebody to fact check.
Oh yeah, but I think Ethan's just more concerned about like having his employee, uh, forgive my term, but jerk him off.
I mean, I can't speak on it because I don't know what goes on outside of.
Well, we don't know what's going on outside, but it's like what I see on the podcast is it's like his intern that claims to have read all of the context will blatantly just agree with Ethan despite either knowing or forgetting that is completely false or that's not entirely true or correct.
Again,
Making for a much more
I'm not.
frustrating experience if you know the
Again,
context.
I'm not familiar enough with his current stuff to really talk on that because I
Yeah,
just don't watch him anymore.
yeah,
I did go for a phase, but like I think when it comes to internet news, like you always get like multiple different perspectives on the exact same story, and every single one of them is written like it's fact, right? It
yeah.
becomes really difficult to kind of deal with that kind of stuff. But that's one of the reasons that like I enjoy watching the drama from the sidelines, is because people pour so much effort into that it's like they kind of just exhaust themselves. People get sick of it after a while.
Yeah, I
And
used to
then,
just to enjoy drama all the time. Uh, the only drama I actually personally enjoyed was the Visoja one because that's the one that actually kind of hurt because before I was a VTuber, I was about to audition for them. And it kind of hurt a lot that they had a complete security breach. Well, it was less a breach on their side because, like, none of their systems were attacked. It was just a phishing scam that saying anything, you wouldn't have any security breaches. You would just have to tweet out, hey, somebody's trying to phish your information.
yeah, but
This
like
is our
this,
official URL.
yeah,
Uh,
it's sucks,
please
right?
pay
It does
attention.
suck. I agree, but at the same time, like this happen again. This happens all the time, and it happens like it just normally doesn't happen with influencers on that kind of scale. Like normally it's a YouTube comments thing, right? Where like this is Markiplier. Come click this link to buy free V-Bucks. It's that, or it's normally banking scams these days, right? You get the fucking phone calls and the messages.
Actually, it's mostly phishing nowadays.
Scam.
Like phone scams, yeah, it's banking, but when it comes to link scams, it all starts with the phishing.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, but it's like
Like
the
yeah,
reason I didn't really like
yeah.
the fact that they were silent was just like they their reasoning for being silent. It was so low, and like security, every security expert that put their 2 cents into this said you legitimately would not suffer any security issues by saying anything.
Yeah, but if you're anxious or you're worried, right? Like, it's very easy for irrational conclusion. Like dealing with things like phishing is frustrating, it's time consuming, and it's stressful. Like these people that are having to deal with this shit, it's fucking annoying, and you're gonna reach a point because this is not gonna be the first time it's happened, right? They'll have to have dealt with fake accounts in the past, dealt with like false links being spread under supposed channels before. Like this is not a new thing. It's just that they've made a mistake on this one occasion, and again, it's blown out of proportion.
I would kind of agree that it's blown out of proportion, except for the fact like this is the phishing scam is VTuber doxes, and the true number of VTubers that have been doxed uh, is completely unknowable. But it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely above the number that Vsojo said, and even possibly higher than what Nux and the other victim have
Thing is, it could
guessed.
yeah, it's happened in our community, right? But like, it can happen to any community. I mean, look at the Twitch links that the Twitch leaks that happened, right? That wasn't that long ago. That happened. Like, information it leaks all the damn time. Facebook, for Facebook, obviously a top culprit of sharing information out. Uh, the information is just it's kind of part of the internet in an irremovable way. Like the internet revolves around personal data, personal information so much. There's so much to be gained by having it. Like you gain market skills because you know what people are interested, you know what people are clicking on. You gain private information like passwords, so you gain accessibility. If people want, they can get a money phishing going by taking bank details. Like information is so delicate, and it is so easily accessed and so easily taken these days. It's just click on the one wrong link,
Yeah,
and information gone. It's so crazy.
I guess the thing I'm trying to get is that uh, you will. Visojo claims they care about the fans, but wouldn't take the 2 minutes out of their day to make to make a sentence long tweet warning their community.
You
It's
think
like you're not Sony. You're not getting attacked every single day, and this isn't an information leak like how all the Vsojo girls have been doxxed more than once, even under Vsojo's watch. And
but there's a
even with those,
difference.
people didn't get angry at them because like that sort of thing's gonna happen. But when it's a phishing scam, in my opinion, uh, the best security for your audience is information at that point, and not security through obscurity.
Yeah, but think of it this way, right? Like
Oh yeah,
that information being taken doesn't really damage VShojo as a company.
it doesn't damage Vsoja, but in case you didn't notice, they kind of took the biggest PR hit for a second. And the
Yeah,
thing I got a
but
bit annoyed at is that the
only because
VTubing
people
community
find out.
forgave the company,
Yeah, but
despite the fact
if
the
they
company doing jack shit
But if
to
they didn't, yeah, but
apologize.
if they didn't say anything, if they said fuck it and no one found out about it, there would have been no PR hit. There would have been absolutely zero loss for the shoujo. It wasn't their problem until people realized it was happening and realized that they knew, then it was their problem. There's a difference between caring about your audience and caring about
Okay, so
retaining your audience, right?
I applied to McDonald's, and in my application at some point, uh, oh no, I get an email, uh, that looks exactly like McDonald's, and 100,000 people also got this exact same email, saying, "Hey, you've been accepted to McDonald's. Welcome to the family. Please go here. Just give us your tax information, and you get to work this Monday." I'm like, and the person goes like, "Oh my god, great! I've been out of work for a few weeks. I can finally get some money." Uh, and McDonald's knows that this security breach has happened. Do you think McDonald's says anything, even
Honestly,
privately, to the emails they clearly now have? Because no matter what, they McDonald's at some point got this in the system, and every company that's the size of McDonald's has a bot system where you can just send send like a very secure email to all of the appliquees saying, "Hey, there's a phishing scam going on. Double check the URL. Blah 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 blah."
I, honestly, McDonald's has done way worse things.
They have done way worse things, but it's
I
like
wouldn't be
it's
surprised.
just a
It's like
it's an it's an
the
example
bigger.
of like, do you say they are at fault
Oh yeah,
for?
yeah, 100% they're at fault. But at the same time, I completely understand why they didn't say anything, and I'm not surprised. Like the bigger you get as a company, the less you can care, right? Because it's the same with like think of it from a streaming perspective, right? The bigger you become as a streamer, the harder it is to interact with your stream chat because individual messages get lost, right? Like one of the great things about being a streamer that's small is when I got 7 people in my chat, I can talk to all of them at the same time. I can read what they're saying. When you've got 500 viewers, those messages are just rolling by. You can respond to one every now and again, but you can't hold the same conversation. You may still love your viewers, but you cannot afford to communicate with them in the same way. You cannot afford to care about them in the same way. And this is exactly what happens with companies. The bigger a company gets, the harder it is for them to care, and also the less it's in their interest,
Yeah,
which is
I
why
was just
shit
saying, it's
like
like
this
you
happens.
don't have to send a personalized email. You just have everyone
No, I
that would
agree.
have applied to Visojo would have been already following their Twitter and gotten the tweet. It would have been just as effective as that McDonald's example I gave.
I agree, but like I'm just saying I understand why they didn't, and I'm not overly surprised. And I don't hate the shoujo as a result. I think it was a bad choice. I think it was stupid, and I think it should have been done differently. But yeah,
So,
it
what
happened,
do you
so
think
just have
about
to
them?
deal with
About all three major talent agencies counting Visojo in this one, uh, opening up their doors to more talents again, because all of them are currently doing auditions. Hololive, Nenji Sanji, and Visojo, I believe.
it. Honestly, I'm not interested.
I'm not
I'm
interested, but it's mostly because that whole Visojo thing has put a really sour taste in my mouth. But
I
I
don't
am
think
fully
it will.
confident that
I don't
Ninja
think it
Sanji
will.
and Hololive would at least tell me that there's a phishing scam going on.
I don't think it will change anything. At the end of the day, they're still going to get people that apply. They're still going to have people to sort through, and they're still going to sign new talent. They, if if that was enough to kill a business, there would be a lot less businesses around, and there's been a lot bigger mistakes made. I personally am just not interested. Like, I don't think I would ever want to be signed to a major label like like V Shoujo, Hololive, Ninja Sanji. I don't think it's for me. I prefer being indie circuit streamer.
Mm-hmm.
I would be happy to take part in a smaller company where I held more control over
As
my
far as I've been
abilities.
told, V Sojo gives their girls almost complete
Yeah, they
freedom.
do.
They add
They
as more
do.
of a mouthpiece, like a megaphone for the talent, and you also get to keep whatever models you obtained from them.
Yeah, they
And I guess
do,
that's the
but
real reason why I
again,
got bothered, because like they were actually the shining beacon of hope for indies.
but I I still don't think I would ever sign up to them, even if they accepted male streamers, right? I don't think I would ever
Oh,
sign
do
up
you?
because
Oh, I just remembered. This is a funny. This is actually a funny part of the drama. This actually made me laugh. Did you know that all of the males that have applied to VShojo, despite the fact VShojo and VShojo Talent saying, yes, this is an application for both male and female VTubers or male and females that want to become VTubers, if they stated that their gender was uh, male or female, no, I should say if they just said male, they would get no views on their, uh, unlisted VSojo video application, while the female
uh,
and non-binaries gotten 2 views.
can't comment because I
I
haven't
just thought
delved
it was like a
into it.
fun. I thought it was like a hilarious fact because like
I
apparently
can't. But
even with
have
receipts this
you
has
have
happened.
you seen proof?
Yes,
Have you actually seen
this
proof
has
that
actually
every
been
single
uh,
video
so
has not
the
done it?
I forgot which YouTuber did this. More than one YouTuber's actually made a video talking about this and also running the same experiment. They apply 2 times with 2 different emails, obviously making 2 different videos. One where they said they were male, one they said they were female, and the female one got a view while the male one didn't get viewed at all. And it was from the time, it was within the window up until the window was closed. Well, up until
But
like a
it
month
might
after the window was
also
closed.
it might also be a case of prioritization, right? It might be a case of, hey, we're open to males applying, but we're gonna look through the females first because we are a female-orientated company. Our talent is female, and finding female talent is more important than finding male talent. And then they look for their female talent, go, okay, we want these people, and
I definitely
as a
feel like
result,
now
they
they're
take.
going to turn, they're going to turn their opinion on that, considering that, uh, what, what's the new Ian talent group name for Ninja Sanji? I forgot.
I don't know. I
I
have no
forgot.
idea. I don't.
I
Honestly,
think it's
I
called
actually don't follow
Luxium.
Midget Sanji at all. I follow Hololive stars, and I follow the shoujo Hololive. I don't follow Midget Sanji at all.
I actually so I come. There's a personality I see with the different talents. Uh, Despite the fact none of them tried to, pretty sure none of them tried to make themselves have a different personality than each other. All 3 agencies have a different type of personality.
Oh, of course.
So
Well, that's natural, right? Because it's partially that you don't want to introduce somebody that doesn't fit in with the rest of your talent. And people, if you introduce somebody with like, if you introduce somebody like Silverveil into Hololive, she wouldn't fit in
is
because she's
Silverveil even
female.
VSojo? I don't
But
think they're VSojo. I think they're
you see
just
what I'm
close
saying,
friends.
then, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like if you tried to introduce Silverveil into Hololive, it wouldn't work. Like you've already seen like you look at Coco, or you look at
Okay, Coco is definitely a different story. We have to see that
but like
one.
she was always different, right? And there
Yeah.
was like, she had her own viewer base because of it, but she didn't fit with the company because she was too different from the rest of the talent. It's just that is how it is.
Mhm.
So of course you're going to have each brand is going to have a kind of like an underlying personality style, because that people with the same personality tend to get along better with each other as a general rule.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh, just to give like what I think all of the general personality types of the companies, real quick. V Shoujo is lewd idols, in my opinion. Even though I think only Nanner sings, if I remember correctly. Like
Yeah,
Nanner sings and Iron Mouse has only done covers
yeah,
because
but
Iron Mouse can't leave.
that's partially because there was a gap in the market for that, right? Like Hololive actively discourages and
Well, honestly, they discourage it
kind of
because they are mostly a
I'm not,
Japanese-based company.
yeah, I know why they do, but they actively discourage it. So that leaves a massive hole in the market. Of course, a company that has talent that kind of style will fill that hole in the market, and Hololive would have known it was going to happen, right? Because there's no
Yeah,
way it won't.
yeah. Obviously, Hololive is classified as the idol company that secretly holds lewd idols.
But
We'll
it's
put
the
quotations on secret.
same reason Ninja Sanji is big, right?
Actually, not
Because
really. So, funny enough, Ninja Sanji has a policy of focus. These are not idols; they're streamers.
yeah,
Uh,
I know, but like that's not where I was going with it.
mhm.
I'm saying like because Hololive pours so many resources into having female streamers, you are always going to have a company that specializes in male streamers also become big and fill that hole in the market, which is why
Do you
Ninja
know of
Sanji is
Hollow
big.
Stars?
Yeah, no, Holostars exists,
Yeah,
but it's grossly mistreated in comparison
yeah.
to how many resources they pour into Hololive. So it leaves a massive gap in the market. Hollow
They've only
Hololive,
recently given what their biggest male talent a news show. Actually,
yeah, but it's
I
that's
think they need to
proving the
have
point.
like a EN. Actually, I think that's what the application is for. Actually, for Hololive right now, male VTubers,
See, I wouldn't even if I was interested in joining a company, I
and it would
wouldn't
be the
sign up for
actual
Hololive.
normal Hololive branch and not the Hollow Stars branch.
I still wouldn't do it
Well,
out
I
of the
still wouldn't do it either
principle.
because I kind of like the fact that I can pull up a stream and it's just about, uh, for instance, out of nowhere on Valentine's Day, I did a date stream, and the first thing I did was complain about the fact none of you taken me on a date, and I held you at gunpoint.
Mm,
Like that. I don't think I can do that in Hololive.
Probably not. I just wouldn't do it out of the principle of I'd feel awful being part of Hololive, knowing how Hollow Stars gets treated. Right? I just wouldn't do it. To be honest, I've only ever really been part of like a group once,
Mm-hmm.
and I chose to disassociate because the person who owned the group was basically trying to dictate what I could and couldn't say and do, and I was like, this is not gonna work.
Yeah, I
Like,
think what a
okay,
lot of up and coming VTuber groups don't seem to understand is like Hololive has a leash on their talents, but their leash is very loose. Uh, as as far as I can tell from like their Twitter and their streaming, is like, hey, don't say anything that's under NDA. Hey, don't say I want to get fucking railed right now. Don't be aggressively lewd. You can be lewd, but not aggressively lewd. It's like
mm,
do what you think is best for the company, but also be yourself. Is what I feel Hololive says. But as I understand, Gargara actually talked about this. She used to she used to be the yes man to her management, and only uh, after a few months of working with them, she started to say no.
hmm I don't again like I don't like talking about this stuff because I don't know what goes on behind the doors of the company, right?
Yeah,
So it's tricky because like you can make educated guesses, but at the end of the day, like it's a lot of it might be like this, it could be like that, like I just don't know, like, and again because I don't have any interest in joining, I'm never gonna know, and I'm okay with that.
hmm
I accept that. I'm fine with that. I just,
Yeah.
I would like to be part of a group. I just have had only one experience with it, and it's bad. And I do not appreciate prepping for a stream and being threatened in my DMs about that stream. Like,
Wait, that's
yeah,
what
it's not good.
happened with your last group?
100%. Oh yeah, 100%. They threatened me, and they completely ruined if I was gonna do a stream with two other YouTubers, and we just didn't do it. We did a different stream because we didn't have enough positive energy. We didn't feel like we were gonna do the original concept justice.
Mm-hmm.
We did something else. It's like
Oops.
they that's fine. They did it because they saw that I tweeted, "Hey, going live in 2 hours, prepping stream," right? And they were like, "Oh, well, you better not, you better not talk about this. You better not do that." It's like, fuck off. You ain't my mum. Like, I get it. You're running a group, and as the person that owns that group, you want to have the best image for the group possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're that stressed and worried about my image and what my image does to your image, just don't have me as part of your image. I'm like, I'm I'm open to talking, and I'm open to constructive criticism, and I'm open to discussion. I'm a very rational, analytical person. If you're gonna come into my DMs and threaten me though, when you know I'm about to go live, that's fucked. That's fucked up. That's a big no. So I was like, hell no. Alright, you know what? If you're that worried, I will make sure that it's not a worry for you anymore. I'm just not going to be part of your project. Fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth.
Unironically, you're making me
being
so
concerned.
interested because I feel like with how many times I heard this on things VTubers say, I almost want to be able to. I almost want to guess what company it is.
I doubt you would know them.
I doubt it too.
It's not a company either. It's a formed group, right?
He was bitching to you because you were a
Who?
formed
Let me guess.
group. You're
Shit.
not even a company.
No, but I respect it out of the matter of, yeah, not a company, but it is a brand, right? Like, you've still got to uphold brand image, and they're still responsible for the brand image and still want to promote their image with their vision, right? I respect that, but it the issue I have is the way it was handled, not the fact that it happened. I don't mind if she was uncomfortable and she was unhappy, that's fine. She can talk to me about it. But threatening was a bad choice, and doing it when she knew I was going to go live in under 2 hours was also a bad choice. Because your emotional state affects the quality of your stream. I'm a firm believer of that. I'm a firm believer that if you feel like shit, if you're really down, your stream is just not the same. Your love for it isn't the same. Your output of energy isn't the same. And if you have viewers who love you and adore your content, they notice. They always notice, man. It's difficult having or feeling like you have a responsibility to produce this stream, produce this content, and knowing that people are going to know that something's off and know that your heart isn't in it today.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And that completely shattered my relationship with management. Like, I just completely removed myself from that. There was no further interaction. I just went, yeah, I'm out. All right, good luck with all that. Maybe try not to handle it this way in the future. It's I think I'd do good at running a company from like the social management side, I just think I would be bad from like a control side, because like I feel like I would struggle to keep up with the actual management. I'm good as a social manager, but I'm not good as a business manager, right?
I am an obsessive person. I almost feel like if uh, I actually had this idea when I first made my VTuber. Was like, well, I want to make a demon character. Well, what if I got like six other friends and we call ourselves the Seven Sins. It's like my
There's a lot. See,
mm,
that's always a bad idea because A, it's a lot of commitment, and B, the core concept shatters when somebody leaves.
yeah, it does. That's also the reason why I didn't go with it. But it's
Like,
like if I were to
if
do one now, it would
yeah,
just be like a group with a random name, and it would just be like four people that already stream
hmm
that I talk to regularly, and we'd just be chilling.
well, it's a common theme in like successful groups, right? You look at something like Vishojo, right? If they lost Yanis tomorrow, like it would suck. It would be a big loss, but it wouldn't. It wouldn't detonate the core concept of the company.
It wouldn't detonate the core concept, but so actually I feel this would if they lost Nanners and Melody, or even just one of them, because the big problem with the big problem with like Vishoja right now is that they have one core group of three friends that constantly collaborate with each other, and they're basically the three major faces of Visojo. Not to say like any of the other talents are lesser or less talented or anything like that, but it's like when you think Visojo and their image, you immediately think Iron Mouse, Nanners, and Project Melody. Not
But
not necessarily
no,
because like they're their favorite,
are
they're
you
your
familiar?
favorite or anything like that.
Are you familiar with this might be a dead thread here because I'm British, but are you familiar with the Sidemen?
What?
Okay. The Sidemen is a YouTube group in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
biggest YouTube group in the UK. KSI, he's part of it. He's
Oh,
a
okay.
massive deal.
I know
He's a
that guy.
massive deal, right? Like this is the thing, right? You always have the face of the group. You always have the big name. You have the people that make it further than the rest of the group do, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's normal. It's about whether you can still operate without that person. You know, V Shoujo, yeah, would they lose a following? Yeah, they would lose a lot of their following. They would lose a lot of their revenue. But the company could bounce back if they
Mm-hmm.
lost Melody or Giannis. It would happen
From
eventually.
the few things I've seen from Nanners' Discord, it almost seems like she's in a almost a management position within the Visojo structure. So
Entirely plausible. Again,
it's
I don't
plausible,
really
but
like.
it's like that's also I fully acknowledge this is kind of skepticism because this is literally just overanalyzing text on a wall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I try
but
not
it's just
to.
like just operating on the fact that she's only a talent. The thing of it was like the first people I've known in Visojo were three the three main faces, and the thing about Visoja is that like I don't ever visit their channel. Their channel, I think, gets less views than their heavy hitters when their heavy hitters do highlights of their own stuff. So it does
Again,
cause
I
somewhat
think this
concern,
is
and all of pretty much almost all of the clips are Zentreya, Nanners, Iron Mouse, and a little bit of Project Melody.
again though, like it's a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is that is their most successful content creators. So why wouldn't you heavily feature them?
Well, what I mean is like there's a risk and reward of heavily featuring your
Oh yeah,
heaviest
of course,
hitters.
of course. But
Because if you don't
you can do
if you
that in
don't
every
heavily
industry.
promote like Hijei Hajime, their newest talent, the last talent to debut, even, uh, you take away the possible opportunity of Hajime actually getting becoming the fourth face of Isojo. The
I
closest
agree.
person to being the fourth face is Zentreya or Fruit Apricot.
I agree, but I also disagree in the sense that take something bigger than V Shoujo, take something bigger than VTubing, right? You take something like WWE wrestling, right?
But don't they have
It
like
is
30 characters at minimum if everybody leaves?
like no, it's I'm more coming from the angle of like there is so many cases of people coming into WWE being underpromoted, leaving. It doesn't hurt the company. It just doesn't. Like your big faces are your big faces, and if somebody happens to luck into that position, which will happen eventually, if somebody happens to pick up steam with the fans and the viewers, then they suddenly become the center of attention and the company leaps on that person. You see it
Well,
happen all
yeah,
the
it's a
time.
natural thing to lean on your biggest link, but it I see it as a double-edged sword. If you
I know, yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
agree, but I'm just
obviously
saying,
do
like,
promote them more, give them more screen time, but also try to properly give the smaller talents more screen time. Like, obviously,
you're
if
definitely,
Hollow
you're
Live were
de-
to do this, they would, it would be, it would be a day-long video.
it definitely, what you're saying has merit, but it's realistically not the best option for the company. Just based off of what has been successful with other companies in the past, that's just not the way you do it. It's the same with everything. You look
Well,
in
I'm not
sport,
telling them
right?
to
Football.
give equal screen time. I was just saying, like, there was one highlight video where there wasn't any Hime Hajime at all, and I was like, did she even stream? Did she leave?
Yeah, and like again, best interest in the company. It's not within the best interest of the company to put clips of her in there when you get revenue off that video. I agree with you. Yeah, like there is long-term benefits to, or potentially long-term benefits to highlighting her as well, but at the same time, like it's a tested and proven
Well, yeah, but it's
philosophy.
like their only potential to, like, with this, their only chances of, you know, worst case scenario, the three heavy hitters leave Isojo. Well, they have Fruit, Apricots, and Treya. Uh, maybe they. Uh, what's her name again? Was it Vey?
Bebe.
Vebe. That, yeah, maybe Vebe. I can't remember if she's part of Isoju or not. I honestly don't know. And Hajime, and it's like, well, the next big faces would be Zentreya and Fruit Apricot. So it's like they need to start focusing on recruitments and promoting the new recruits.
Yeah, maybe, but at the same time, Bishoja is in a good place.
They're in a good place, but it's like the biggest things I see that makes every company and empire fall is comfort.
But at the end of the day, right, like, okay, say V Shoujo fucking tanks tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
The person who owns V Shoujo walks out with a shit ton of money, makes a new company.
They actually used to be part of Twitch, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But, like, that's exactly my point, right? You leave, you make a new company, you make more money. Like, it's,
Well,
it's the
okay,
cycle,
so
man.
as far as I know, Visojo is a private company. They're not actually part of the stock market. So actually, what would most likely happen is that the depending on how stubborn the owner is and how heavily they grasp to life, they could potentially end up with nothing if the company flops.
I guarantee you,
Because there's
the
more
owner,
risk without investors than there is with investors.
I guarantee the owner will walk out with money if that happens. There is no way that he's gonna fuck it up that bad. You will walk out with money.
Well, that's what we all think. Think a lot of things are too big to fail. The Titanic was too big to
I'm
fail.
not saying it's too big to fail. I'm saying if it fails, he walks out with money. It's like I'm fully open to the fact that it could fail. I'm just saying
there are several companies that make as much as Visojo, and they have failed, and the person that owns the company is the one that has all the debt defaulted onto them. Because one thing I can guarantee you is that running a security staff is actually not cheap at all. Because security staff is 24/7. There's no hey, we're closing the doors for 6 hours for everyone to take a nap. It's like, no, there's A, B, C, and D teams.
Well, of course there is. That's again, but this is the same everywhere.
And then there's the marketing team. Like there's so much that goes into the structure of what Visojo has, and there's no telling what kind. There's a good chance because all companies that get to Visojo sites has this. They most likely have a server room, and obviously that has sensitive data, but also potential new highlight videos. So it's like running servers are not easy, and you have to hire IT people to take care of those servers. It's like, well, everything I just mentioned easily starts getting creeping up to $500,000 at minimum.
I just don't think I just don't think he'll walk out with no money.
I personally, it really depends on his passion for this idea. Because again, passion is your greatest friend and also the thing that can kill you. Every business owner think at one point once they their company is successful and stays successful for a good while, they'll get the Henry Ford complex. If you know what that means.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with you on this particular case.
I know. I think.
I know what you think you said.
Yeah, I know.
I know what you think.
I know what I think. I know what you think. Damn, that was a good as fuck topic. I stayed on that one for a while.
You did, yeah.
Where's the other wind in my sails? Do you have any other than your? Actually, I probably should let you talk about your music. What is your personal side projects?
Man, side projects. Honestly, I don't have too many right now. Like apart from prepping for debut, right? Obviously, I don't have a lot of side projects. I'm very open to collaborating with people. It just happens that a lot of the people that are open to collabing with me have quite heavy schedules at the moment. I think it's part of just being it's still first half of the year, right? Like people have planned a load of stuff in January, and now they're in the middle of like doing all those projects and stuff. I took a break during January. I didn't make plans. I was just like I needed to deal with
talking to other YouTubers. I can guarantee you they did not plan ahead too far. Like for instance, Keijo, he has a lot of ideas he wants to put forth, but
a lot of people I work with
and he has made some steps towards it. But it's like, in terms of like a planned schedule, he has no planned schedule, and that's typically how every VTuber operates, including myself.
I mean, the thing is, I'm quite like, I'm one of those people that is like, I get super stressed about everything. I super over prep for everything, and I get along with people that are like that. Most of the people that I've worked with in the past are people that have plans that go ahead, weeks, right? It's just the kind of person I am and the kind of person I tend to hang out with. If you're talking,
well, that's ironic.
If you're talking long-term projects, like ultimately things that I do want to do, I've got a strong interest in having a podcast show because I have a background in radio. I used to
Mm-hmm.
work in radio. As a result, talking is just something that comes natural to me, and I'm good at knowing knowing how long to segment stuff, when to wrap things up, when to move, and how to transition. It's like part of natural skills, and I'm good at waffling. I'm good at just talking and like spieling and going off things and going dot to dot to dot to dot. It's one of those things that you build up from doing radio for so long. Like it's just one of those things, like you have to get good at it, so you do. As a result, doing something like a podcast feels natural. Going from radio to podcast is, there's not a lot of difference. It's just more talking than you're used to, because obviously in radio you segment your things and you have music for long stretches in between. Podcasts are easy. I like podcasts. I want to do more, but I want to do something regularly, and that is difficult because I got to find. I don't want to do a solo podcast with like a special guest every time. I want to have a standard podcast with a standard cast, right? And an occasional special guest. So that's finding preferably two other people that are consistently available, that fit my vibe, fit my theme, my personality, and are able and interested to do this with. So that is something. I think the only other thing really is setup improvement. Like, I work with a single monitor. I don't work with a double monitor, and I haven't got the desk space for it. My actual setup is pretty cramped, and there's a lot that needs to be changed and improved. Microphone is a big one. I need to get a ring light. I need to get a load of different things. You know, I have high expectations of myself, and I don't currently live up to those expectations because of the limitations of my gear.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot of drive and motivation behind, like improving my setup so that I feel like I'm providing the quality of content that matches the quality of like the entertainment. Because I feel like when I stream with other people, the entertainment's not the problem. I think it's just like it's poor mic quality or internet quality sometimes. Like there's all these things. It's the typical curses of being a VTuber or a streamer in general, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also have like several upgrades in mind.
Mm. I think
L-
most people that stream do. Even if you're a big streamer, right? Like there's always things you're like, oh, I could get this.
Yeah, it's like
Could
I
get this.
could become a macro king and get a wider desk and get like 13 stream decks, so I have so many different sound effects I can play, and also change my voice midstream. And it's like I always feel like a lot of people have this problem, and I think I have this problem less because I work myself down when I have these ideas. People have an idea. Uh, he didn't really have an idea, but they want to keep all the features of that idea, not realizing a lot of those features are bad. But if you chip it down a little bit, it becomes perfect. Uh,
Um, I think that's true, but I think that is true for certain people. I think some
yeah,
like
certain people are
different
George
people.
Lucas. Certain people are like George Lucas.
Some people are George Lucas. But it's also it's not a bad thing to just chuck a load of stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, but
One of the benefits of
I
being a
think
small VTuber is you can just do a load of different random stuff, and if something picks up, something is popular, you continue doing it.
yeah, I think when a lot of people have when they the big problem with like people with Lucas brains, as we can call it, is once something sticks, they still want to keep all that stuff that didn't stick, but they won't try to reinvent that stuff that didn't stick. They won't They just like, come on, I just want to shove it back on there.
Again, that works for some people and it doesn't work for others. So like,
Yeah.
I can't criticize something that has worked for someone. You know, like, would it work for me? No, it's not. It's not my style. It wouldn't work. I'm too small picture. I'm very detail orientated. I'm bad at big picture and spatial awareness kind of style of thinking. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it wouldn't work for me. But because it works for other people, even though I don't like it, um, if it works for you, then it's a good process in my books. Could it be
Yeah.
better? Yeah, sure, it could.
Yeah. It's like, I will say personally, I have the better version of a George Lucas brain.
Uh
Because,
huh.
okay, so I start with something very broad that sticks in my mind. For me, it was, I want to write a god that uh, is going through mental health problems. Well, what's their struggle? While managing both a family and their realm. And then it keeps evolving from there. You start become adding lore, but with everything you add, you start to realize, well, some things don't work here, and I keep whittling at it, and I've eventually just come to terms with like, well, that just doesn't work. I need to throw that away. That that won't work, and it was kind of a dumb idea from the get go.
Again, though,
And it keeps going and going. I have the
like
obsessive
we
George
said
Lucas
before,
brain.
though, like we've said before, that doesn't that doesn't make it a better method because the George Lucas method does work for some people. You can argue it's inefficient. You can argue other methods are better, but the fact of the matter is it works. Like
Well, I wasn't
look at George
arguing
Lucas.
efficiency. I was arguing that, in general,
I
the
just wouldn't
George
argue it. To be
Lucas
fair, I
brain
just
is
wouldn't argue
very
it's
inefficient.
better.
Hmm?
I just wouldn't argue it's better when it's when George Lucas brain is successful.
Well, the thing is that George Lucas's brain wasn't the thing that was successful. It was George Lucas throwing a lot of stuff at the wall, and then his producer going up, okay, we can't have this, this, and that, because that is completely stupid.
And there's a lot of times he went, "Nah, we're doing it anyway, man." Like, and
A few things definitely worked. It's like I can't argue with that. It's just like overall George Lucas brain just doesn't work if you don't have something to filter George Lucas.
I don't know. Again, I would
It's
disagree.
kind of it's the same reason why we ended up with the prequels that were both fun if you look at them in a different way, but when you just look at them like uh just objectively like flat, uh the first one is extremely boring and I almost fell asleep through it.
I like the prequels.
Well, the thing is that I also
They're
kind of like the
fine, man.
prequels. The thing is that like everyone can agree with me on this is just like at least a good amount of the first movie was pretty boring. It was just
But
people talking about
it,
politics.
but like that is important. Like the books, right? You can only take from the books what are in the book. The films were based off of the novels,
I could have sworn there
off
was
of
no
the book.
novelization of Star Wars before George.
Well, George wrote it, and then they turned it into films. Pretty sure.
I can't say that's right or wrong because I don't know the answer.
Uh,
Personally, I don't know that answer. Because I do know that for some reason, despite the development path Halo had, for some reason, Halo was a novel before the game. But it was also written by
Here we
the
go.
dev's writer.
Here we go. Is Star Wars based on a book? Yes and no. Release of the novelization of the Star Wars film preceded the film. Star Wars, but Star Wars was always imagined by George Lucas as a film. So he imagined it as a film, but he wrote it as a book. Uh,
Later.
no, he wrote it as a book before the film was released, so that he could
I
like
thought it said
adapt it.
it preceded the film, so doesn't that mean it goes after?
No.
All right. Well, at least that's one debate taken care of.
Preceded means before.
Hey, I listen.
That's
These
okay.
aren't words I particularly care too much on remembering.
English is a difficult language, man.
It's
It's
like it's
alright.
the only language I know, but there's certain words I just throw away into the garbage bin.
Yeah, no. Preceded means comes first. So
Why do you think I'm trying to get out of it by learning Mandarin?
basically, instead of writing a script, he wrote a book. But like, it was always intended to be a film, not a book.
Okay, so it's still on. Yeah, so it's agreement that it's a yes and no
Yeah, it's a yes and no.
answer.
It's complicated, like every good relationship.
It's like, hey, Janice, are you still with your boyfriend? And it's like, it's complicated.
Oh, so it's going well then. Great. Do you have a streamer that you really fucking vibe with? That like
Shinzilla.
you're on well, you haven't finished, man. Do you have a streamer that you really vibe with that you're on like equal footing with in regards to like reach and view count and stuff, but it's just not possible to collab with them due to content differences?
My answer is fucking no because I'll just adjust.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, there's a streamer I really enjoy. When I'm not streaming, I'm normally chilling in her stream, just like vibing. She's awesome.
Mhm.
And we're on like pretty equal footing. But she plays exclusively Animal Crossing and The Sims. Both very, very great streaming games.
Oh, well,
they're cozy, relaxed.
that's impossible to collab on.
Yeah, but like that's my thing, right? Like I can't reach out to her for a collab because there wouldn't be any base. There wouldn't.
Well,
not be
okay,
anything to go
so
off of, right?
what you could do is start looking up games that are like that are multiplayer. Like,
Yeah, but it's not worth it. Like I don't think this is the thing, right? I would love to collab with her, but I don't think I would add anything to the stream. Like her stream format is fantastic. She excels at the type of streaming she does, despite being a largely unknown streamer, despite being quite small. Like, I love her content because she does it perfectly. Like, there's very few ways you could improve it, and I wouldn't add anything to that, right? Like, would I add humor? Yes, I would add humor, but humor is not what her streams are based off of. Her streams are based off of being very comfy, cozy, quaint, chill environments, and I don't fit that vibe. Like,
have you considered that
I
they
bring
would have?
chaotic humor. That's what I do. Like, I can be chill, but inevitably, if I'm collabing with somebody, I
Have you
frankly
never heard of that being the most perfect duo in the universe?
It can be. I mean, look at Dan and Aaron, Game Grumps, right? Like, Dan's pretty chill, Aaron's pretty chaotic. It does work, but I just I don't think it would be worth it. I think her streams are good, really, really good, and I just don't think I would do it justice.
You know the term "you miss all the shots you don't shoot"?
I do, but are you also familiar with you waste all the ammo at shots that can't be hit?
Well, listen, you don't know you can't be hit until you pull the damn trigger. I thought for a fact that I would make no friends as a VTuber. Nobody would vibe with my personality because, like, I am pretty out there. I will just start talking about dicks for no reason. I'll start going on tangents that leads nowhere.
It doesn't change the fact that, like, sometimes your personality isn't beneficial, right? Like, I'm saying my content, my personality is grateful. I'm saying there's people that I collab with, my personality is great. I'm saying in this specific example, my personality is not beneficial. My personality, if anything, would reduce the quality of the stream. Like, it is.
Have you considered that you're thinking a bit too hard about this?
No, I don't think so. Because, like, I've collabed with a lot of people.
Well, it's like you're operating on a cost-benefit analysis of potentially becoming friends with your favorite streamer?
Oh no, she's not my favorite streamer. Like I've got streamers that I prefer. I vibe with her. That's all. It's like, and I would say that I get along with her
So,
pretty well. Like we chat a lot of the time because her stream is quite small, quite empty. Like spend most of the time chatting. We get along fine. It's it's not a case of needing to make friends with her or anything like that. Man, the thing is, there's lots of other streamers out there that I haven't met or that I have met but I just haven't interacted with that my personality would lend more to. That I would be more interesting and produce better quality stuff. I don't want to produce shit stuff. If I get offered a collab, I will 100% consider it. But if I look at it and I go, look, I'm just not gonna be good enough. I'm not gonna be high quality enough in this environment. I'm not gonna do it because I only want to make the best stuff that I can. I'm more than happy to chill with that person outside of streaming. Fuck yeah, I'll play with games with them outside of streaming. But I personally, I want to make sure that I'm always giving out the best content I can and giving out the best vibes that I can. And if that's not the zone, if that's not the place, then that's not the zone, that's not the place.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so one fact about all of my friends that are VTubers, they are all more successful than me. I have collabed with a good amount of them. Daxis is actually on the same level as me, but Keijo, Sumner Cherry, I haven't had a chance to watch more of her streams because she streams so freaking early in the morning. Because she's also in the same country as you, ironically enough.
That's not irony, but we're good. We vibe.
Well, it's ironic because we became friends, and I literally can just hit you up any time I want, and for some reason you're there.
Oh, that's because I'm nocturnal. I'm very nocturnal, bro. I go to sleep at like 6 in the morning, and I get up in 3 in the afternoon, and that's my night.
Disgusting. Regardless, Summoner's Cherry. I try to organize a VTuber only tournament for Crab Game, and I think she's the largest one that said yes and attended. I think she's definitely has something thousand followers on Twitch.
Yeah.
She came because she said she vibes with my personality. Like she says, well, you're pretty chill, so I decided I would come. She didn't care about winning the $100 that I offered as the grand prize. And also Nina Fana came in. She rakes in 6 to 12 viewers per stream.
You've lost me on the point.
The point is, my point is, these people are bigger than me, and I am vastly different than them. On top of that, they were completely fine with me, and I was completely fine with them being on their streams as someone that's completely opposite to them.
This isn't about me going, oh, oh man, I just, oh man, I don't know what to do, man. I know, I'm fully I've thought everything through, and this is the big difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying is, I'm not saying it's about her, I'm saying it's about me, right? Like these people, you ask them, they chose to come, that's great. This is not a case of me asking her to come and her going no. This is me going, I don't want to ask because I don't think I will produce the best quality content. I think there's better people out there that could be doing something with her. And I think there's better people out there that I could be doing something with to make the most entertaining stuff possible. I'm a perfectionist. I like making sure that what I do, who I work with, are people that I can be funny with, that I can be entertaining with, and with the exception of podcasts and
I am so
interviews,
concerned letting this
clearly,
segment up because I don't want to potentially give people the idea that you only care about the potential streaming opportunities. Because that's
no.
not who you are.
But
I know for a fact that's not who you are. It's just how your brain's wired.
yeah, well, it's exactly like I want to have fun, but like I want to be entertained. If I'm not going to be good enough, then I will not take that slot up. Somebody else that is way better to stream with her should be streaming with her. Somebody that would make way more entertaining content because they produce an environment I thrive in is better suited to me. It's as simple as that for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I would love to. Like Fruit is my idol. I would love to stream with Fruit, but I wouldn't because I would not produce my best content with her. I would not be entertaining enough, and
Oh my god, if I collabed with
better
Fruit, it would probably be the greatest stream ever. I would constantly poke at her. Like, I'll find every single weakness she
That's the thing,
probably
like,
has.
again, she's my favorite VTuber, but I would much rather stream with Nyanas because I thrive better in that environment. I would produce better content, and at the end of the day,
Did you just
that's what I
open
care about.
WWE?
No, it's been open for a while.
It's just like, I just got a notification. Bloody Karma opens up WWE something.
No, it's just been open. But yeah, like it's not about numbers. It's not. You know, I want. You know, It's not about. Oh, if I'm not as funny here, I'm not gonna get as many followers from this.
Well, I was
stream
like, I wasn't
if
personally
I do
thinking
it.
it was all about the
No, I know.
numbers. It was just like, I just felt like you were just focusing too much on the content and just. Uh, I love the idea that I could hit up a VTuber's DMs midstream and say that, hey, you mind if I just join in your Among Us game? I'm not going to stream or anything. I'm just going to pop in. And they'll just say,
I think
you
that's
know,
different.
yes.
Like, the thing is, like, when you get big party games, like, it doesn't matter as much. Like,
So it's like,
I'm talking one-on-one content, right?
so
Like,
they, so if they said,
I mean,
hey, let's play
it,
WWE on stream together, I'm kind of curious. Your reaction is,
no, because I would not be producing the best. But it's not about the numbers. It's not about. It's about how I feel about my content, and I want to produce the best stuff I can. It's a me thing. It's a selfish thing. I'm perfectly okay with that fact. Like, it's a selfish thing. If it's not up to my standards, then I'm not doing it. And it's always me that I'm judging, right? Again, this isn't about her and her personality. It's about me saying I'm not going to be good enough in this environment. I'm not going to be entertaining enough. I'm not going to live up to what I know I can be. So I'm not going to do it.
I just realized something right now.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't anything negative about you. It's, you know, when we just talked about Visojo?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna be barred from ever. Let's say both of us ever got big, we would be completely banned from collaborating with them. Did
Why?
you see what? Okay, so Silver Veil, for instance. Actually, I think both. It was Silver Veil and Vebe. They blocked anybody that remotely criticized V Sojo for the drama.
That's perfectly okay. They're allowed
And
to do that.
well, yeah, it's just
Like,
like
at the end of the
also
day,
when
right?
when somebody asked, "Hey, are you gonna make an apology to your fan base for bringing up drama that personally affected them?" Because that part also kind of tilted me a little bit because like as a fan of most of the girls,
Can we not segue back into this topic?
I shouldn't do that. I really shouldn't. It's already I'm a curse. I'm a cursed being.
Look, end of the day, right?
Yeah, end of the day, they're just people.
V Shoujo is her family. V Shoujo is a business. V Shoujo is her livelihood. If she blocks a couple, you know, like 50, 60 people, like she's still getting 7,000 likes on a tweet.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like
I just see
it's
it
up
as
to
a
her.
personally weak thing when you just
Yeah,
block
but no,
someone
she's
for
uncomfortable.
just asking a
No,
question.
yeah, but like she's uncomfortable. She's probably been asked that question so many times. She's probably so fucking tired and uncomfortable and unhappy, and she just wants to do her stream, do her job, have fun with
I
her
do,
friends.
by the way.
It's too much, man.
When you said, "Hey, can we not talk about this?" I honestly thought we were just gonna change the subject.
We are like I'm trying to wrap it up. It's
I was
just
just like, I didn't even
never
want it to be wrapped up. I
happening.
was like, what? We can just jump off this because I'm a cursed being that brought this back.
End of the day, it's her life. Full
Yeah,
stop. That's it.
yeah. In a day, that's a full stop.
Who was the
Either
first person? Who
booters.
was the first person that followed you on Twitter?
That is a good question. Let me double check that because Twitter actually organizes that by first follower.
Yeah. You can literally scroll down to the bottom because I know my one off by heart.
I don't know it by heart because most of my first followers are my bros.
Hmm.
Okay, that is a lie. Twitter, you have something wrong. I know for a fact my sister didn't follow me before whoever Connie is Connie is. She she did.
Maybe whoever that is unfollowed you and refollowed you because that would shift them back up the queue. So mine is a guy called Caribou Cryptid Frog Deer Thing, also previously known as Frog Friend Ben. He's a fucking legend. I love him to bits. But I had never talked to him. Like, he was my first follower ever. Like, even followed me before, like, people I collabed with followed me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know him at all. Like, he's a super chill, like, just down to earth, like, boy who just happened to like the way that my model looked. It happened to get recommended on his timeline. He saw it, he liked, he followed, and that was it. It was the beginning of something beautiful. I haven't collabed with him still. I need to do a collab with him at some point. He's just super chill, man. He's like literally vibe, massive vibe.
I thought me and Daxus followed each other sooner than that. Weird. I look at this. I'm looking at the follow thing. As like I typically remember every story, the story behind all of my bros follows, and that's kind of how I can know the timeline. Because like, Bakudu Gage, or Gaijin. I'm not good with Japanese names.
Yeah, all right.
He definitely was the first major player that followed me. Following that is Summoner Cherry, and that one was, one of those lore posts is like, hey,
Yeah.
I want, I'm gonna destroy the Demon King. You want in? And I said, am I getting paid? And she sheepishly responded, yes. And I was like, okay, I'm in. And
We're
the
actually
next,
very close. We're very close on followers.
wait, yeah, I thought you would be higher considering that you are
I am
a
higher, but
two D
not by
tuber.
much. I'm higher by 5. I've got
Really? Only by
133, and you've got
5?
yeah, you got 128. I've got 123.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. I'm small time. I'm a small, quaint streamer.
Well, I
Little
expected you to be
corner.
small because you didn't debut yet, but damn.
Yeah, I'm just chilling and vibing in it.
Yeah.
You know
I
what it
actually
is?
don't remember how I got Caddy to follow me. That's interesting.
You know what it is? It's I'm not good at the whole social media thing.
Neither am
I'm
I.
not. And the reason is I didn't have Facebook. I didn't have Snapchat. I didn't have Insta. I still don't have any of them. I don't have a Facebook account. I don't have any friends on my Snapchat account, and I don't follow anything on my Instagram account. I don't use them. I've never used social media. Getting into streaming was the first time I started using social media, and I'm still really bad at it. Like, I just don't tweet as often as I should do because I'm not used to it. It feels really unnatural.
So, funny enough, because I have a rule. I think I told you this. I am I am a lewd content creator, but not a
Mhm.
not a C dumpster. I am a said it fully.
Right.
Uh, and because of that, I made a tweet. I forgot what the exact context of it was, but it was essentially, yeah, you're gonna be in bed with me or whatever. And I immediately got 7 likes off of that, and I was so
Yeah.
fucking tilted that me being wholesome gets fucking nothing. And I was like, I'm just being me on Twitter, and I just remotely just act slightly horny on main, and bam.
I mean, I'm still kind of in that space of I don't know exactly where I am on the lewd say so spectrum because like I swear like a motherfucker. I swear constantly. I make outrageous comments and jokes, and I'm perfectly okay with that. But like,
I say you should rate it by how many times you make a sex joke.
this is the thing. I make sex jokes all the time, but it's more of a like
Do
my
you describe? Would you say
attitude.
yourself as a sub or a dom?
I'm not answering that question on stream.
In DMs, please.
I'll answer that question later. Um,
This is help. This is. I'm unironically trying to help you figure out your branding here.
no, 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 no. This is the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way I act IRL in comparison to the way that I act online, in comparison to the way that I act when streaming, is very different.
Well, I'm
And
asking
part of
for
that,
the streaming version.
and part of that is the fact that my character is, in many ways, the opposite of me instead of a caricature. Instead of taking my traits and over exemplifying them, over magnifying them, I do the opposite. I take my traits, I minimize them. I take the traits that I wish I had that I don't have, and I magnify those.
Oh wait, I
My
figured it out.
character, my character is arrogant. My character is cocky. Yeah, sure, I have a level of arrogance and cocky, but my character does things with confidence, and I just don't do that. For my debut, recording a song is the most stressful thing I've fucking done in years. I hated it. It took an entire day, and it was a miserable experience. I was so unhappy, uncomfortable, out my comfort zone, stressed out. I hate my voice. Man, it was the worst. But I wouldn't have done it at all if not for the fact that my character would.
Yeah.
My character allows me to do things that I would never do because I've got high expectations of myself to live up to my character. I can force myself to do things I'm not comfortable or not confident in doing because my character would do it. My character is a way of making sure that I can experience things, that I can try things that I otherwise know that I wouldn't do out of principle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, streaming in itself is something that I was really uncomfortable with when I first did it. Having a character really helped.
I hope you don't mind that now, from now on and forever, at random once a week, I will start tweeting at you, sub or dom. What's your answer?
I mean, you can do that. It's okay. I'll block you. I'll still follow you. I'll just block you as well.
Oh man,
Oh man.
he can't. He will never answer the question. But the thing is,
This
I
is
already know
the
the
thing,
answer
right?
when it comes to the character. The character is a light switch. They want to be more dominant, but they will be submissive. Boom. You don't have to answer it because I know you won't answer it. This is just my headcanon.
Right. But this is the thing, right? Like, in like private with friends, yeah, probably lewd.
Mm-hmm.
In the humor that I make in just like my personality and stuff. But when it comes to putting that out in a stream or a video to people I don't know, my confidence wavers, right? and
Mm-hmm.
then suddenly I'm not as comfortable or confident in being like sexual, especially if it's like it's self-sexualization, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I really struggle with that, and it's partially because I don't like me. Like um I'm non-binary,
Mm-hmm.
and I have massive issues with the way that I look and the way that I feel. I really dislike the way that I look and the way that I feel. I hate it. But my character again helps me cope with that by like I can embody a character that I can choose how it looks, right? I chose how my character looks. My character, my physicalness in the real world. Sure, there's things that I can change, there's things that I can do, but like you don't have full control over it. You just don't. My character I have full control over.
Yeah, I think I'm more okay with it. Not because I am comfortable with my body image, but because Zhao is just an exaggerated version of
Mm.
myself, and
But
Zhao
yeah,
has two forms.
that's where the flaw comes in for me. Mine isn't mine isn't a caricature. Mine isn't my personality. You know
Yeah,
what the
well,
most fucking
it is in a
I
way
know
because it's you said it's pretty much a direct translation of yourself on the opposite side.
not a direct, but close to. There's a lot like I took the things that I wish I was more, like confidence, right? I wish I was
Mm-hmm.
more confident. I took those things and I built around that. There's still influences of my actual personality in my character. There is. There's things that line up, there's things that match. But the vast majority of the key personality traits of my character is the opposite of what I am.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Low key, one of the most frustrating things is when you get those the VTuber face reveal like Twitter posts, and you're like all of them are fucking gorgeous, and it's the most
Question:
fucking
Is it
like
from
what?
that one asshole that's been doxing VTuber faces, or is it from the owner?
No, self-posted.
Okay, self-posted. Good.
Like when people self-post, right? Because like I'm part of kind of the I'm part of the group where it's like I think it's fine to show your face if you're a VTuber if you want to. It's an optional thing.
Uh
But
huh.
I like there's two right, like there's the community of like VTube fans who don't count you as a VTuber if you do a face reveal. Or say that you're undermining the concept of VTuber. I don't agree with that. I just don't. I personally don't want to show my face online. There's only one picture of me on Twitter, and it's covered. Like it's you can only see like a portion of my face. Um, I personally just don't want to put myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do, I think that's absolutely fine. But all these people that do, they're like, oh, anxiety. I don't, this is why I have a VTuber model. They're fucking gorgeous every goddamn time, man. Every single goddamn time. Even if they're not like my type, they're still gorgeous. And it's fucking annoying because then like I'm sat here, I'm like, holy shit, I've got a model, but I'm ugly as fuck. Like, like, how has this happened? This doesn't seem very fair and balanced.
I feel like quite literally this is a circular thing because they'll just say the same thing about you.
Maybe it's entirely possible that is how it is. But like, that's how I feel. It's really frustrating because I see it and I'm like,
Yeah, there's one reason.
like,
There's a reason
I
why
know
I
I'm gonna
don't
click on the
ever go on
post.
Twitter and say like, "God, I am so ugly. This is why I'm a VTuber," even though it might get like a good few likes.
Man, I'm not a VTuber because I'm ugly. I'm a VTuber because like pride I prize my anonymity. Fuck my life that word. Anonymity. Anonymity? fuck. I like being anonymous. I like having my privacy, right? Privacy is a massive, massive like thing that I value and love. So I don't hide how I look because I think I'm ugly, even though I do think I'm ugly. I hide how I look because I value the knowledge that people don't know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very introverted. I like being indoors. I like being, you know, physically like in control of whether I'm, around people or not. I like that fact. Man, the list of people that I need to collab with is long. That's what I keep realizing. Like I keep looking at it, and I keep looking, and I keep going, oh, that's a lot of live streams. I mean, what have I got this week? Obviously, I've got my debut Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a stream with Chinzilla next week.
Nice. I'm assuming Sunday too.
No, I'm not sure
Oh.
yet.
Oh, okay. So an undecided date.
Undecided date. We just know it's next week.
Yeah, she typically reserves like new VTubers that she never talks to for Sundays.
Right. Any reason why?
It's just a channel tradition.
Oh, okay.
Because like obviously she already knows me. We collabed with each other. I broke her rule actually. I think I forgot when. When did I have it? Actually, it was on a Sunday. It was on a Sunday. We first talked to each other. Why is my sister calling me? What the fuck?
Right.
I'm gonna send,
I mean, that's fine.
send her a
Like,
quick
I can do
text.
Sundays. So
But
if it does end up being a Sunday, that's absolutely fine by me.
yeah, but more streams that you do. But the next stream will definitely be like, I don't care.
Well, we'll see because like thing is, it's not just me and her. There's other people involved, so like it might not be a Sunday thing out of that.
Oh, it might not be a Sunday. You're right. It might not be a
And
Sunday.
then you can go shove the Sunday roll up your ass, you know.
Whoops.
But yeah, I'm super like nervous for debut, honestly, just because like I'm overthinking everything and I over prepare and I'm like stressing myself out.
Yeah. Perfectly
It's
natural.
It's just a big deal, isn't it? It's like it's the beginning. It's
My
the
first debut was utter garbage.
start.
But I'm planning a re-debut, and it'll be the announcement of the second form. Well, technically the first form, but it'll be the second form in terms of like the channel acknowledgement. And that will be like, so the form I'm in is called Tracy Lee, and Zhao is the demon form, and that's what's gonna be in the re-debut.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I vibe with that. That's good.
Yeah. I hope to make some comics about like their lore, but first I have to write some comics about VTuber stuff, mostly as a warm up and get me used to writing comics at all. You still there?
You know, I've yeah. Just I was thinking how to phrase something. What's the worst experience that you've had in regards to like your model and reception? Because
Model and reception.
Because I mostly have pretty good reception when it comes to my model. Like people like the way my model looks, the people that have seen it. But I had one experience that was really like uncomfortable.
I guess if uncomfortable was on the thing, but it was mostly my fault because I forgot I even tweeted to this person on their Twitter posting. This person's Twitter is, their Twitter meme is they lick people, right?
Right.
And they did a post where it's like, post your PNGs and I'll tell you where I would lick you and what you taste like.
Yeah, that's a little bit odd, but okay.
Well, yeah, but it's just on brand for them. So I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
I
was
get it.
like, well, that's weird, but let's find out what Tracy tastes like. And 2 days later, I get the answer, and I am in complete utter shock. Wait, why is this person saying they'll lick my stomach? What? 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 And
That's a
then
bit
I
odd.
read the Twitter
Yeah,
post.
it's a bit odd.
Yeah, it is.
I would be kind of weirded out. So the one bit of it's the only negative reaction I've had so far to my model,
Mm-hmm.
and it was I won't name them. It's not worth it. But it was a person on Twitter who DM'd me. They were like, "Hey man, you can't use that model. It's racist." I'm like,
What?
"Huh? Huh?" They're like, "Look, like it's culturally insensitive to
To Italians?
re- no, Italians. Why would it be Italians?
Because the Italians were at one point bullied by by Greece.
No, uh, no,
That's my
so
only logic for it.
no. So they went. It's culturally insensitive to represent yourself as a part of a culture that you're not involved with, which I kind of get because like this topic's been brought up before, right? With like American streamers that have heavily Chinese influenced skins, for example, right? And people are like, well, you're not part of the Chinese culture. You shouldn't be representing yourself with a model that's Chinese influenced. I kind of understand it. I get where they're
Um,
coming from, but like the thing is, right, is my model is an ancient Greek god.
mm-hmm.
That culture's been dead for us. It's been dead for a while,
It's so
right?
dead.
The other thing is like that culture is European,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm European,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think it's as big a deal as like,
Please tell me there was
hey,
a Twitter argument.
no, that wasn't. They were just like,
Oh,
I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like,
honestly, I'd probably respond the same
personally,
way.
I don't have any issue with it, and the people that I associate with don't have any issue with it. Like, feel free to block me if it makes you uncomfortable. That's not my intention. And they kind of just blocked me, and that's fine. But like, this is the thing, right? Like, I get it from the angle of like, oh, hey, your model is black, but you're a white-skinned person in real life. Like, that's maybe a line that's crossed. It's
I
difficult
can't
because
get
it's a gray
into
area,
it
right?
because that, when it comes to, I will say I'm experienced with race, but
It's thing
let's
is, it's
just
always,
say I'm doing the opposite of that.
but that's the thing, right? Like, it's a massive gray area where it's like there isn't a right or wrong answer. It's just kind of
Okay.
it's up to personal opinion. But that's the thing as well, right? Like, is I'm like, okay, well, this is the thing. Am I Greek? No, I'm not Greek, but I am European. I am white, and the culture is a long dead culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it's not like, hey, you know, I have a black avatar and I've said the N word, right? Yeah, fuck that. That's that's fucked. Don't do that. But like, this is, I'm not using it as a way of granting myself permission to do things or say things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just one of those grey areas. But that's the thing, right? Like, that person clearly didn't feel happy with it, and that's okay. Like, you know, it's
Just
not my
for me to
intention.
peeve someone off that, note, this is my opinion. He does not agree with me. Zhao Luke is a Chinese name. I am not Chinese.
Mm.
I even have this commissioned by my artist, a Chinese dress. There we Oh, I forgot I had myself cut off. But point still stands. I love the Chinese aesthetic, and but I also do not agree with China politically. I just love their aesthetic, and I even am trying to learn their language because I like their language. But I don't agree with China.
I don't, but I don't think that was the point that was being made. You know, I
Well,
only always like,
your point's definitely not that, but it's like it. I feel like that person is the same person that would go up to me if they found me and say the exact same thing. Be like, you're
I mean,
not part of that culture, and it's like it's not hard to find out because obviously I have the world's whitest voice.
yeah, but like voice isn't everything. You know, like, but
That's all
this is the
people
thing,
need
right?
to crucify you, really, because like a lot of Asian people sound white, and they go like, you can't talk about Korean culture. Like they actually got unironically get these comments so often on
Mm.
YouTube and Twitter. You
Well,
can't talk
it's
about
the same
Korean
thing with
culture
like
because you're white, and they're like, dude, look at my skin.
I mean, it happens. It happens. I experience it in the way of like I know a lot of people of mixed race
Mm-hmm.
or of an ethnicity that is not stereotypically the normal ethnicity. For example, I know a lot of English people that are black. Like they're like third generation English, right? Their parents were English, their grandparents were English, but they're black. And when people think of English people, they tend to think of white.
Yep.
It's just how people are because historically the the vast majority of our population is white. We're just a very multicultural country these days. But I've seen them get like basically told they can't say this or can't do this because they're not English, and it's like, well, they are English. It's the same with the opposite way around. Like I had a friend in school who was who had Nigerian heritage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he had like very tanned white skin because of his parents, right?
Right.
And his parents, his grandparents, the way his family worked. But like he's of Nigerian heritage. He's got a Nigerian accent. He visited Nigeria a lot. He used to go back there for holidays with his family. And this fucking dude walked up to like this dude bumped into him in the street, right? And
Mm-hmm.
started going off at him for having this racist stereotypical accent. You can't use that because like you're not an African. You can't have an African accent, bro. Like he's just because he's white doesn't mean he's not African. You know,
Yeah.
it's insane. It's so strange. People are just mad
By any
strange.
chance, does he also work at a call center?
No, he doesn't.
That's too bad. He's not my Nigerian prince that stole $2,000 from me.
How did you get? How did you
That's a
think of
joke.
that? Okay, I was gonna say. Oh boy.
I was like, talk about race. Let's just make a slightly edgy joke right now.
I mean, I don't mind dark humor. I don't mind offensive humor as long as you're discriminate indiscriminately.
I would do it about any race.
Precisely, like
Yeah.
that's the same as me, right? Like that's the thing. I'm always like, do I say racist jokes? Not always on stream because TOS,
Yeah.
but like hell yeah, in private, sure, yeah, I do. But I also say racist jokes about my own culture, and I'd like, I hang out with people that are okay with it, and I hang out with people that also make those jokes, and are happy to take the piss out of me
Oh, you know what
because I'm
sucks?
English.
I can know
Mm-hmm.
when people go like, "Well, you can't make uh, a joke. You can't make a joke about Asians. You're not your culture, and that's insensitive to them." And I used to go like, "Well, are you Russian? I'm pretty sure you've done a fake Russian accent before." And now I can't do that due to the current climate. Fuck, fuck you, Putin.
I mean, our generation is just it's
Very broken right
unsure.
now.
It's unsure what it wants, right? Like we want equality in so many ways. There's so many things we're fighting for. Like, it's just, there's a lot on our plate, and it's frustrating. You know, like, a lot of young people want more gun laws in America. It's not happening anytime soon because most of the older generations don't want it.
Well,
You know,
it's
like, there's
also
still,
it's the question is everyone wants gun laws, but they don't say, well, what do you want them to do? Like what do you want them to restrict? Because like okay, so for instance, I was admitted to a mental hospital. Uh, Universally, if you've been admitted to a mental hospital, you are not allowed to own a gun in the majority of states. Uh, if you have been documented to have a mental issue, especially with suicide. Uh, and also, the background checks typically take a
just remove
minimum of
guns,
two
man.
days to 2 weeks.
Just remove guns.
That is impossible in America.
It's not impossible.
Are you?
Australia did it.
Okay, here's the thing. You're comparing a smaller country with a smaller population where most of the people are closer to water to a country where people are literally scattered across everywhere, and it's almost impossible to get. Okay, so let's say
It
this
is
right now.
not. It's
You
not
illegalize. No, no, no.
impossible.
Okay, let's
No,
go
no,
through
no,
this.
no.
Let's go.
It's
Let's
not
go through the scenario
impossible.
right now.
It's just too much effort, and there's too many people that don't want to do it. Australia did it. The Australian government gathered all the guns and
Okay, I
destroyed
want
them.
I want you to ask this
You could
question.
do it.
How many
You
people
could just
do you
don't want to.
think? There's a lot less Australians than Americans, and a lot less
But
psycho
the
Australians
amount
than
doesn't
psycho
matter. You can
Americans.
still do it with a bigger population. There's
I am
absolutely
trying to
zero
tell
reason why
you,
you can't.
we would end up with riots in the streets and people shooting random civilians out of spite. Do you know
But that
how
doesn't.
many Texans legit fuck their guns?
But that doesn't take away from the fact that it's possible to
It's
do it.
anything's possible, but it's like, do you know how much money it would actually take and how one it's money, time, and most importantly resources, and most
No,
importantly it
you asked.
relies on the biggest
You asked the
problem is it relies
question.
on a trust system.
You asked the question. What should the gun laws be?
Yeah.
Everyone's asking the question. What should the gun laws be? Get rid of the guns.
Yeah, here's the
You
thing.
did
We
it.
can give
The
a
UK
million
did
and
it.
one reason.
Australia did
You
it.
can say Australia did all you want. Australia is, one, far smaller than us, and two, has less fucking psychopaths that are only okay with the gun laws and not killing someone
Saying,
because the gun
saying,
laws are not.
saying America is bigger
That's not my
makes
only point. It's an
yeah,
exact.
but
It's like
it,
one of the.
it's
It's a
not the
smaller
point.
reason to the one. It's a
It's not the
smaller
point,
point in
though.
comparison to the fact we have more. We have more crazies that are one bad day away from doing it anyways, and the moment we do that with guns, and the thing is that like, there's so many guns that it's so easy to smuggle it over. Like, you're still able to get a gun uh, from Mexico. And the thing is that like you're also assuming every single gun owner in America
You think,
hasn't broken
you think,
already
you think
hasn't
guns
broken a
don't
gun
get
law.
smuggled into the UK and guns don't get smuggled into Australia? They
I
do. Of course they do.
What I'm saying is like here's the thing. You guys have you guys are islands. We have one country right next to us that can dig under and hop over our fence to bring us guns. It's not going
That
to
sounds
solve a
like
single problem.
that sounds like a security issue that should be
Well,
dealt with.
well then there's then there's the other problem. So here's the thing. My wager is that it takes uh, a few hundred million to even get that to happen because you need the personnel, you need the trucks to load the guns, and then you need to either give some of the guns to the military or recycle the metal.
I'm
That
not saying
takes
it's
a
gonna happen. I'm not saying it's gonna
Well,
happen
yeah, but
this
I'm
way
like saying like
because
a lot. You're not the first person that brought this up, and it's like it's it's like a really
I'm
dumb
saying
idea in my personal opinion being in a heavy gun state.
I'm saying it's not gonna happen. I'm also saying it's what should happen. It's what should be decided by the people. Is what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm
the
saying the
people.
people of America should decide to do it because the amount of people
Okay,
that
so I want you to ask
like
this
make the
question
debate.
real quick. Uh, a month. My mom actually recently did this, but she didn't buy a real gun. She bought like, uh, real really heavy hitting BBs that are legal. So because of the way America is, some people own a gun because they want, yeah, they want defense. Some people want guns because they look cool and keep them constantly disarmed to put gun locks on them. All safety measures taken, and then there's the psychopaths, right? The
Right.
question is, in stand your ground states, and this is the major reason why most lawyers win the cases of keeping guns in America, anyways. A mother uh, hears someone break into their house. There's no question about it. She has no husband, and her kids are babies. Right. She bring she picks up the family gun, and she goes around. She starts walking around cautiously, and the attacker immediately is holding a AR-15, and he has a pointed to her face. Cla- Not exactly fully how stand your ground's supposed to work, because technically speaking, your gun's always supposed to be held until you know the danger. But it's the more realistic situation. Actually, I should just change it to that to stand your ground regulations. So you have she's walking around with a gun in her holster, and she goes, "Who's there?" The guy pops out from a corner, and he's holding an M9. Pretty standard pistol, pretty easy to grab. In the scenario that she has the gun, uh, she will instinctively pull out the gun and shoot the man. The guy is immediately down. Her adrenaline is at 1,000,000 miles per hour, and when that fades away, she calls the police. And once the police confirm the story, probably take him out. She goes to court for it. Well, are you willing to tell that mother that she never should have owned a gun in the first place that just saved her life and her children?
If guns were illegal, the lad wouldn't have had.
He would have a gun. He would have a gun because you know what's the easiest thing to smuggle? A fucking M9. It's tiny. You also said that guns get smuggled into the UK. Do you think there's not armed robberies?
Of course, there's armed robberies in the UK. Do you know what happens though? We don't have school shootings.
You may not have school shoot.
We don't have thousands of gun deaths every year. There is a gun death every day in America.
Okay, so how does that fit? So here's the thing, I do want there to be less school shootings because like it baffles me how actually most of those school shootings are illegal carries. Anyways, a few of them were legal carries. Like Elliot Rodger was Actually, was Elliot Rodger a legal carry? No, he wasn't legal carry. He was a legal carry.
Whether it's a legal carry or not is
that's the biggest argument though, because like the only way you're going to get rid of because you're telling people to get rid of their guns. All right, you get rid of the guns. America's such a big place; you can hide a gun anywhere, especially in Texas. Most people live in Upper Texas or Lower Texas. You're either in Dallas or San Antonio. No, it's completely. How do you stop the cartels from smuggling M9s past a tiny fence? Because we had this conversation with Donald Trump. If we tried to build a wall that actually hindered.
Not relevant under the concept of the American people choosing to get rid of guns.
Here's the thing. You can say that the American people choose the guns, but the thing is that, like, at best, it will be 51% of the people. It will never be enough people to agree. There will always be enough people to disagree, and that's the thing that concerns people. The people that disagreed will find a way to hold on to their guns. Those people that disagreed will smuggle guns. Those people that disagreed, if they become financially destitute, will resort to violent
saying
crimes.
the exact
We'll
same
get rid of
thing.
we'll get rid of school shootings, but we won't get rid of, like, for instance, Dallas is the top 10th murder capital city.
The exact same thing happened in every other country that outlawed guns. There was a
Okay,
spike.
you're comparing an island that has no two islands that have like zero countries bordering it in terms of
This
no
does
water
not
between
change.
them.
This does not change my point that in an ideal world, the American people would agree to get rid of guns, and that's how the gun laws should work.
And I'm gonna say is like that ideal world is next to impossible, because we have a gun
But that
culture.
doesn't change the
It's
fact
a
that in an
culture
ideal
of
world,
gun.
that's what happens.
Yeah,
Like, my point
but
was,
the thing
in
is
an
that,
ideal
like, you
world, that's
also
what happens.
framed this like this entire almost the entirety of the way that it's not an ideal world. You're framing it as it's completely possible, but the thing is that, like, one, I do like guns, but I don't own a gun. I'm in favor of people owning guns, and that is the majority. That's the majority of people, because, like, if
And I'm in
someone can't,
favor of less people being killed every year.
no
I'm
one's in
favor of less
favor
being
of people
killed.
dying.
And yet,
People that are in
yet
favor.
the decisions that are made say otherwise. Look at your healthcare system. Look at
Okay,
your healthcare
that.
system in comparison to,
Okay,
like,
come
the
on.
European
That
healthcare
that's a
system.
low bro. That's a low bro right there. Because
It's not a red blow.
that is a low bro, because that's not an argument I know about.
It is.
It's just like, hey, we also you have to take in consideration that the only thing that Americans hear about the free healthcare system is not the is not is only the fact that you guys wait for possibly 17 weeks for a normal doctor's appointment, and that's more people die in the emergency room than somehow we do.
We do not wait. We do not wait 17 weeks for a doctor's appointment.
Pyrocynical, a major creator, has stated that they had
Pyrocynical is full
for
of
a
shit, though.
huh.
Pyrocynical is full of shit.
He might. Who knows? Because, okay, here's the thing. Queues could have possibly changed because of the coronavirus. Because the thing, probably shouldn't have said it like that, but whatever. Uh, because of that, because a lot of hospitals had to reformat themselves to almost exclusively take care of it, and now that it's been taken down, they have to reformat themselves back to be dealing with chemotherapy, radiology, all
I
that.
don't think no. I don't know. Are you talking about the US or the UK? Yeah.
Mostly the U.S. because
I was gonna
U.S.
say,
hospital.
This is 100% not how things went in the UK.
Well, one thing I do know about the UK is that they got rid of the emergency plague fund right before the virus hit.
And the people didn't want that. It was a government decision.
Yeah, I know that the people didn't want that, but it's like, the government acted selfishly. Same thing with every government ever.
And we still handled it. Like, we still managed to, as a healthcare organization, we still managed to get through it without that budget.
I personally believe that we also did. Is the problem was the anti-maskers, and that's also the reason why back to the same point, the gun laws wouldn't work, because there'll be anti-gun lawners.
The other problem is it's $1,000 for an ambulance.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue the fact that it's shitty that we have to pay for a fucking ambulance.
If I got the coronavirus in America, I would not go to a hospital.
Well, the thing is that, like, okay, so you hear about people dying with this disease. Like, all you know is that people are dying left and right with this disease. Hospitals are getting overflown, but it's like, without treatment, you may just perish.
I'm not doing it.
All right, but millions of Americans did, and the worst part is that, like, you're
again, it's down to healthcare though. Like, we had good information that was spread by our healthcare organization.
Well, do you know? Okay, so the big your healthcare organizations were not the problem. It was, ironically enough, Facebook, because
Okay,
Facebook's
but
algorithms promoted a lot of
regardless,
anti-coronavirus virus
regardless,
propaganda.
we knew we could go to a hospital, we could be checked, we could do a test. We knew we would get the help that we needed if we
We
needed
did
it, and
have
it's
tests. They
all
were
and it's all free. Everything is free. Treatment is free.
okay. So here's the thing.
All of it's free.
A lot of treatments actually did ended up being covered by the U.S. government, and we fully
I'm not all
for
of them.
for the most part, every single virus test was actually covered, and you didn't even have to go to a hospital. You could go. All the pharmacies had them, and we also had mobile stations that would go at gas stations to allow lower
We had the
income
same thing.
housing to get it for free.
We
That
had the
what
exact same thing. We had like places
Yeah,
back
I'm
there
just
where
saying it's like uh, when in terms of coronavirus response, we did most of the same thing. Is this most some people paid, some people didn't.
and that sucks. The fact that some people paid is
Yeah,
terrible.
I'm not gonna disagree with that. In fact, I'm all personally from what I know. I'm
And
only arguing
it
from the point of
doesn't.
the people. The point of the people is that yeah, free healthcare is basically a death sentence in terms of wait times. That's
It's
what the
not.
people think. I don't think. I know for a fact that's not the case. Because unlike a lot of Americans, I do watch European content creators, and they do talk about their hospital visits, and yeah, they complain about the queue, but the queue isn't unreasonable for those that are not in
Uh,
severe spots. But if you're in a severe spot, you do get treated immediately. But the problem for Americans is that they treat the story of like it takes you. Uh, you can't just see your doctor the same week you made the appointment.
I
Uh,
mean, general health is different as well, though. As well, like
yeah,
we have far less. Don't get me wrong. Obesity is a problem in the UK,
it is a
but
severe
it's
problem with
yeah, but
us.
it's not as bad as it is in the US as well.
Yeah. Did you know that the U.S. is actually not the most obese country? I was actually surprised by that.
Yeah, I know it's not, but it's definitely up there.
It is up there. Oh, it is. And we have done nothing to fight obesity.
Hmm.
In fact, I do feel that the current culture of acceptance has probably made it a little worse.
I mean,
Because we do try to, like, fat acceptance is a good thing, right? I do personally agree with that. Your body, your choice, and be comfortable with your weight.
the UK's issue is actually drinking. Like
Oh, definitely.
drinking.
You can start drinking at the age of 16, and I personally think that's a little damaging, personally.
It's more. Not that. That's the issue. The issue is that it's heavily ingrained in our culture. Like if you were to go out somewhere with some coworkers after work, in UK you would go to a pub. If you're going somewhere to meet family, in the UK you're going to go to a pub. If you're going somewhere to watch the football match, you go to a pub. If you are meeting up with a friend that you haven't met in a long time, you go to the pub. Like the pub is such a like integral part of roads and cities. Like it just is. It's where we meet people. Drinking is normal. Drinking is not seen as an addiction in the way that it is. We obviously
Yeah.
know it's an addiction. Alcoholism, everyone knows it's a thing, but it is not treated by the general population as seriously as it should be.
Hmm.
Especially when you keep in mind that, for example, weed is illegal in the UK, and alcohol is arguably more dangerous than weed. Arguably.
You guys take some strong shit. You, uh, I remember. Have you watched Trash Taste? Trash Taste.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so uh, basically it's a podcast of two Brit. Actually, one's full. One is just one Welsh. They're all British in a way,
I'm
but they're all
familiar.
lived in the UK at one point.
I'm familiar with the concept. I just don't watch it.
Okay, good. So they this is just reiterating your point really of like how ingrained it is. They talked about like when they had a few content creators that came on to Trash Taste that don't drink, and they talked about how awkward it felt because it was like, hey, want to go to the pub later? And they're like, oh man, I don't drink. It's like, you don't drink? What? You don't drink? Uh, what do we
Mm.
do?
Well, we don't have what do you guys call them? Like diners,
We don't have diners anymore.
but like
We
we
have
don't have that.
restaurants.
We don't have as many restaurants either, and you wouldn't go meet a friend at a restaurant.
I think America culture is more go to the coffee shop after work.
Yeah,
Go to a restaurant or go to a coffee shop.
if you asked if you were coming out of work here and you said, "Oh, do you want to grab a coffee?" That would be seen as like a kind of flirty thing, like you want to go on a date kind of thing.
That used to be a thing in America, but then it was like super casualized with the
Mm.
invention of Starbucks.
I don't know. The thing is, um, a fact for you, I'm allergic to alcohol, so I can't drink.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes it feels very limiting, like because I don't want to go to a pub and I don't want to go to a club because people go there to get smashed. That is all people do in the UK. They go to pubs and clubs to get smashed. Um, and then if you ask somebody to go out for a coffee, it's like a flirty thing. So it's like, what do you do? There is nothing to do. We don't do shit. I don't do shit. I stay inside all
Mm-hmm.
day.
Oh, why does Carmen never go out to drinks, boys? And unironically, I feel like one person probably was like this.
No, like people
That
know.
pussy that pussy Carmen can't handle a drink. He got a little allergy.
No, I've never had anyone associated with me that sounds like that. But
Really? Well, not sound. I'm talking about discussion.
no, I meant like that accent. That accent was fucking dreadful.
It is dreadful,
Um,
and I like torturing you with it.
I honestly I struggled a lot through college with it because it's like when you first get to the age where you can drink. So
Mm-hmm.
like the main thing that everyone was doing, I couldn't do. And the other thing is, it's a dangerous allergy to have because people will spike your drink. People will not believe that you're allergic to it and just believe that you don't want to get drunk, don't want to drink, and people think it's funny to swap your drink when you're not lucky. That was my experience in college, and that sucked. That was awful. I got sick more than once because somebody thought it was funny to spike my drink.
Yeah, that used to also be a problem in America. It was mostly in colleges. People really thought it was funny. Thankfully, more adults didn't really see it
Mm.
as funny. They see obviously they see it for what it is.
But yeah, that's honestly one of the worst things about being me, being allergic to booze. Not a good one. It's not a good thing. It sucks. You allergic to anything,
Uh,
as far as you know?
so I have Crohn's disease, and one thing uh, pe- some people don't know is that Crohn's disease actually kind of creates an allergy for you when it's
Mm.
active, and that is lactose intolerant.
Yeah, fair enough.
But the thing is
Um,
that my Crohn's disease is stable, so I haven't had to deal with it for too much. But the thing I'm actually allergic to, truly allergic, is milk. And its
right.
reaction is hallucinations.
Fair enough. I have obviously my alcohol allergy and I have hay fever, but that's about it
I actually
as far
had
as I
people
know.
make jokes. It's like, oh man, that must be great. You're going on a fucking trip just off of milk.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
also
no.
actually,
It's like a honestly, all the hallucinations were terrifying.
what's that stuff called? It's tea tree oil. It's in like a load of like hair care stuff and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a reaction to that. I don't think I have it anymore. That was the worst though, because like we went through a phase where it was in everything, like fucking everything. Shampoo, conditioner, moisturizer, you name it. Tea tree oil. Fuck, it's the worst.
Yeah, well,
Absolute
that just
worst.
means you're not taking a shower for 3 years until it stops being a trend.
Oh no, I used a lot of eucalyptus stuff instead.
Mm-hmm.
I. Are you shower or bath boy?
I'm a shower guy, but when I want to relax, like when I just want to chill, I go for a hot bath.
Baths are kind of grim though.
Well, I don't see baths as a cleaning process. I see it as a relax process. Because you get you get it like all hot. Your muscles are all. The thing is, I never get a massage, so my muscles are always tense. So I go in there, it's like, oh my god, everything in my body is completely relaxed. I am ascending.
So I'm pretty much forced to have baths occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
I have a I have a muscular condition. It means that my muscles are deteriorating.
Right.
Um, and I have to take bath salts, and you can't really take bath salts in a shower. So occasionally I'll have to have a bath. But if I get a choice and I don't need my bath salts, I will always take a shower. Hot shower any day.
I I don't know why, but I'm not as relaxed doing a shower. I almost see showering as almost a legal process.
Yeah, that might be a you thing.
Well, yeah, it's like I say legal process in terms like I just like I'll just start thinking about stuff. I'll have like ideas, but I'm not fully relaxed. Truly, like my muscles aren't relaxed. They're just like, well, we're still working, so why relax? We're just gonna
Yeah, no,
keep going at the
can't
regular
relate.
rate. Well, I know you can't relate.
We can't relate.
Yeah, you can't relate. I know.
What time are we planning to wrap this up, by the way?
So what?
I said, what time are we planning to wrap this up, by the way? 'Cause
Oh, we're
I need to
actually,
make food.
believe it or not, we actually passed the time 28 minutes ago, but it was like
Oh,
we were
brilliant.
having like a decent conversation, so I was like,
You love to
I'll
see it.
keep it going. Yeah. So he needs to go. He needs to go eat. I need to go shower. Ironically enough,
And
because I ran out of time. So I would like to thank all of you lovely, lovely people for coming to today's stream. Uh, Tomorrow is Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, and please follow our boy Bloody Karma at Bloody Karma VT on Twitter, and please go to his debut on March 13th, 2 p.m. GMT. And I'll see you
yeah.
lovely people tomorrow. What is your exit?
Um, cats are better than dogs, don't at me.